That's an eternity of basketball ahead of us. Another beautiful steal perpetrated by Dwight. The action continues. A let-go situation here. Alumni Deacon going up against a double team. Jeffrey Moore has perfect access to the bucket. What you saw from that normal replay of that last bit of action was Mon Fernandez actually wanting to dish up the against Master Jaworski. We're crossing the Twilight Zone. That's an eternity of basketball ahead of us.
Okay, here we go. It's an eternity of basketball. We'll start episode 165 soon. But prior to that, we remind you we are part of the Globally Ballin Network. Check out another show on the network, Mukbang with Jho Jho. Latest guests on episode 6, Kat and Jamie. But check out Mukbang with Jho Jho Maraginot. Most popular episodes on the YouTube channel of Globally Ballin. Bernie Fabiosa is at number 1, and then Freddy Ubaldi at the end. So you got Crispa bookends there, but you got some Toyota guys in there as well. In the middle, and one Royal True Orange, that's Yoyo Martinez. Check out globallyballin.com for original articles, audio and video projects, the rest of the shows, and all the social media of the Globally Ballin Network. Catch all our live episodes on Twitter, the Twitter page of Globally Ballin, so you can watch it there as well. And follow us on social media. Linktree/globallyballin is the link that you need for all of that. Okay, here we go. I'm Charlie Cuna together with Noel Zarate and Jay Mercado in their matching t-shirts.
I'm home.
Yeah, Noel's finally home. Yeah, and then yes, so 165. Wala si Sid Ventura today, but he's with us in spirit as usual. This is episode 165. Our guest for today is Green. He's a De La Salle archer, former archer. Played there together with his brother at one point. They couldn't be in the game together at the same time. We'll talk about that later. But he played in the PBA, drafted by Coney Island 1993 as the 4th pick overall. Played for 5 or 6 franchises, depends how you look at it, because one franchise was absorbed by another. But, yeah, we'll go through all of that. Played in the PABL as well. He was one of those guys they used to, it wasn't popular to call them Phil-Ams yet, but he was one of the original Phil-Ams. So we'll discuss that part of his career and how was it complicated to come to the league or whatever. We'll find out. We'll find that out when we start. Let's bring him in right now. Mr. Dwight Lago is with us today. Dwight, thanks for coming on the show, man.
Hey, thanks for having me. Good morning, guys.
Morning.
Morning. We were talking about basketball and how you got started the other day. I told you that's what we're going to ask you. So you weren't born here in the Philippines.
No.
Is it true you were born in Japan? Is that right?
Yes, I was born in Japan, in Okinawa, Japan. because my father was stationed there. He was a U.S. military, but he's Filipino, full Filipino, but migrated to the States when he was younger, got drafted in the Army, and then that's how that came about.
All right. So you were born in Okinawa. How long were you there before you went back to the States?
Roughly about a year. I think my mom was pregnant with me when they transferred. He got stationed there. I was born there, and then I think my dad's assignment was only for like 1 year.
Okay.
So we came back here. I actually came back
so
here.
So you didn't really grow up in Japan. It was just really
it was just like a year as a baby, right? And then when we came back here, I grew up here. I think about 3 or 4 years old.
Okay.
Mhm.
Yeah. So my Lola was telling me I was speaking Tagalog back then. I was first starting to speak, and I think I spoke better then than I do now.
So neither of your parents is American. I mean, they're American by citizenship already, but
Yes,
they were
by
Filipino. Even
citizenship.
your mom, yeah. Okay.
Yes.
Okay,
Also.
guys.
Noel.
No. I just want to know when you were here, what prompted you guys to move back to the States? Because your father was stationed there, or did he have a choice to actually plant the family in the Philippines?
No. So after we came back, initially when I was a baby, when I was like 3, like I said, he got stationed to the U.S. So that's when we first went over there, and then since then we never came back. Never as he never came back or anything, and we never came back as a family for vacation. Just really too expensive back then. But so I grew up in the U.S. and just heard about the league here growing up. We had other Filipino families, friends of ours, and in fact, I was at my friend's house. I remember I was probably in the 1st grade or something like that. We were shooting hoops in his backyard, and his dad comes out and he goes, "Hey, Dwight, there's a basketball league and a pro basketball league in the Philippines." And I go, "Oh, really?" And it just kind of stuck in my mind. So I just kind of came in and just stayed in there. And then I just remember that years later when I was still wanted to play basketball, that hey, there's a league over here in the Philippines. Maybe I can try to come back and check it out.
What made you gravitate towards basketball? I mean, in the States you have several sports: baseball, football.
Yeah.
What made you gravitate more towards basketball?
I just remember watching the Seattle Supersonics at the time, they were called.
Right.
So the Sonics. So since I grew up in Washington State, about an hour south out of Seattle, we would watch the games on TV. And that was the year I remember we won the championship. It was 1979. That's
79.
That's
really
79.
young. Yeah.
DJ and Gus.
Yeah.
So I just remember watching TV, watching the games, and then my dad had put out a little hoop on our garage, and I was out there shooting, and I was thinking, what am I going to do when I grow up? And this is a true story. No, I'm not making any of this up. I was shooting at the hoop, and I was looking at the hoop, and I was thinking, what am I going to do when I grow up? What do I want to be? And right then I said, I want to play pro basketball. Nice. And that stuck with me also. And of course, you grow up in the States, you're looking at the NBA, right?
Yeah.
So you kind of realize that as you progress, it's tough to get into that league. So that's when I remembered, and when I was in college, that's when I remembered, oh, I'm going to try going to the Philippines now and finish my studies over there, transfer, because I still wanted to play. I wasn't playing in college. I got an offer for like a junior college out of high school, the 2-year community colleges, and my parents didn't want me to go there, and I kind of didn't want to go there. So I went to Washington State University my first year, just tried to walk on to the team, and would have made the team because they didn't cut anybody at the time. There was only 3 of us walk-ons. So out of all those players, I was the second shortest guy in that team. And the shortest guy in the team was another walk-on. So we were the shortest guys. So, but I wouldn't have played, and I just wasn't really into it. So I ended up, I just quit that team. The following year, I transferred to University of Washington because I didn't like it out in Washington State, which is out in the country. It's on the eastern side of Washington. It's farmland and everything. So it's not really. I didn't really like it there. Transferred to University of Washington. Went to the athletic director, whoever it was, asked if they had tryouts for basketball, and they did not. They wouldn't allow. Since it's a bigger program, they only recruited players. Yeah. You guys might remember Eldridge Kastner.
Yeah, the import. Yeah.
He was there at the time.
Yeah, he played
or
here.
he had graduated at the time from UW. So he was one of the guys that played there. But anyways, yeah, they wouldn't let us on, wouldn't let us try out. So it just kind of stuck in my mind. I stayed there for like a year, and then I decided to come back here and try it out. Go to Salle. Well, actually, my mom said either you go to get a tryout for Salle, Ateneo, or UP, because she knew that was the top 3 schools, right? So
What happened to UP?
Yeah. So she talked. It would have been. It's by chance that one of my relatives was. I think the daughter was going to Salle at the time, so she brought me there for a tryout.
Yeah.
So that was just my luck. So it could have been any of the 3 teams, whoever got a tryout first.
Did you get to try out for the other 2? Did you get to try out for the other 2 at all?
No, I didn't. Well, once I tried out for Salle, they said, "Okay, we want you. Come back."
Okay.
Come back
It wasn't
Oh, come on.
that was during Christmas time.
Yeah, it wasn't like Derek
Yeah.
called you up, recruited you. It didn't happen that way.
No, it didn't happen that way. I walked into their practice, and since
Alright.
my cousin was studying there, she brought me there and said, "Hey, here's my cousin from the States. He wants to try out." So I just tried out, and I was overweight. I wasn't really playing that much. My hair was really long.
Okay.
But they got you anyway. They said, "Oh, this guy's tall. Let's get him."
Yeah. So they offered. They said, "Okay, come back. We can offer you like a scholarship or something." And I had to find my own accommodations at the time, but well, it worked out. It was a great experience.
You like this comment? Check out this comment on the screen.
Oh, there. Yes.
What did they
Lago
see?
brothers are DLSU legends, said Tony Valenzuela. So that means a lot when it's Tony saying that. Okay.
What did Coach Derek tell? How did you get recruited? In other words, how did you enter the team? What did they see in you? Your shooting?
Well, no, actually, because they didn't. I think they just liked my height, maybe, because I was one of the taller guys at the time. I remember Richard Del Rosario was there in the practice. I think Dickie Bachman was there.
Bachman,
Joey was probably there. Joey Santa Maria. So those guys, and I'm more or less. Well, I'm a little shorter than those guys, but I think they like the height. I think, right? You can't coach height, as they say.
Right.
So that's one of the things. I don't remember being that good or anything like doing anything good, outstanding. I mean, just playing hard, trying hard.
Were you familiar at all with Philippine basketball? Did you know anybody? Did you know anybody in the Philippine basketball landscape? Did you know any of the players? PBA?
No, not at all.
Zero.
When I first came here, not at all. But I do remember, somebody took me to a game. So I watched here in Ultra. I watched the game, and then it was nice. I was watching some. I had some other cousins who brought me around. She pointed out like Tanichi Ituri before to me. We were out somewhere, and she said, "Oh, that's a player over there." I go, "Oh, okay."
Another LaSalle guy.
Yeah, and then I remember how I went to the game. For some reason, I met Bobby Parks. I can't remember how I met him. He said, "Come over to my place here in Avalon Condo in Reno."
Yes, Avalon.
Yeah, where he used to stay. He said, "Come over. I'll give you a couple of tickets." And so I went over to his place. He gave me a couple of tickets. Very nice guy. I mean, he didn't even know me at all. I walk in and he's preparing dinner. He said, "Hey, you want to join me for dinner?" Him and I think his wife, girlfriend at the time. And I said, "No, it's cool. I just, I better get going." So he just gave me the tickets, and that was my story with Bobby, which I knew, I got to know over the years after that. I never got to talk to his son. I don't really know.
Ray.
His son hit a couple of threes last night.
Yeah, really. I would like to meet him. I never met him and just tell him, some stories about his dad that from my experience, he was a good guy, great guy.
But growing up, even in the States, when you came over here, who were your initial idols? Because I've seen you play. You don't play like anyone I've seen before, so it's different. But
growing up,
who did you idolize?
Yeah, growing up, since I was watching the NBA, I really loved Magic. I always wanted to be a point guard, like considered a tall point guard. I guess that would be kind of a tall point guard here, but so he was one of the guys, and everyone during our era is a Jordan person. So like growing up, I didn't really have anyone to teach me because we didn't have all the coaches for us and everything that could teach us all these things. So I would just kind of watch guys on TV and try to do what they're doing. So Magic was one of them. Jordan was another, and then I don't know, just pick up different things here and there.
Who was your favorite Seattle Supersonic?
It was probably Gus Williams back then.
That's okay.
Yeah, Gus Williams. And then later on, of course, Gary Payton and Sean Kemp, those two. But during when I first watched him, it was Gus Williams I really liked. Downtown Freddie Brown.
Of course.
Those are the guys.
That's why you take those threes too, I guess.
Yep.
Actually, I didn't start taking threes a lot until I started playing for San Miguel.
Okay.
So I have
okay.
another
All
story
right.
there. So I was, I was traded there, San Miguel from Pop Cola with Nick Velasco, and I think it was Jumbo Velado, right? He came with us over. Anyway, so we were just practicing, and I would always take shots inside the three. I hardly ever took threes. And then Danny Siegel comes over to me. He said, "Hey, maybe you should try to step back and take a three." And I think Coach Ron told him to tell me that. So it was a good move by like Coach Ron and I guess Coach Jong, is that they didn't have to tell me straight, but they did it in a way that made me, I guess, like do it without them having to tell me. So I'm not sure whose idea it was, but I think it was theirs to space out the floor a little more, because back then our offense, the defense was there was a lot of illegal defense, and we do a lot of double teaming in the post. It was more post games, so by me stepping out one more step at the 3-point line, it opens up things a little bit more for our guys down low.
Yeah,
right.
So it was just a little bit of adjustment.
I actually want to ask a question. About your shooting form, because I told you I haven't seen somebody play like you or anything like that. Where'd you get the shooting form from, or did it just come naturally to you?
I don't know. I notice, like when I see younger kids playing, some guys have a natural talent for it, or they have a knack for shooting the ball well. They might have a knack for dribbling well or something. So mine, I guess, was shooting, but I guess through the years, it became a little bit more technical. So I would, see others shoot and things, and I always see that, like, the same mistakes that young players make now. So, well, to answer your question, I had one coach who just told me to always follow through. So I wouldn't follow through all the way. He always say, make sure you do a full follow through. And that was pretty, and kind of keep the elbow in. But I just in my own, I don't keep it all the way in, because the way my build is or something, it's uncomfortable to have it really tucked in like that. Like a Mark Price or something. I can't shoot it like that. So I'll notice those guys, and I'll see different forms, and then I guess through the years just chose or practiced or experimented which one works for me the best.
Yeah. Because your form is nothing like you and your brother Elmer. His form is very different.
Elmer's completely different.
Yeah, Elmer's he brings it up a little bit higher. He jumps. He prefers to do more of a jump shot, where I'm shooting on the way up as I jump. I guess it's considered like maybe a set shot or something, not a total set shot. But yeah, that's like a whole nother topic, because I can talk for a long time about shooting.
Right.
Like
I just asked because it's different. I haven't seen a form like yours since you.
Really? What about it? It seems to be a normal style.
It's like half a jump shot, half a set shot, and it's just like, I don't know.
It's like a quick release kind of thing.
Yeah. For a forward,
I'm imagining you shooting right now, trying to go back. I wish we had some good.
Yeah. I mean, the first time I saw it, that's weird.
Yeah. I wouldn't. Yeah, I'm not the type to jump first and then shoot. I was more like I'm shooting on the way up.
Yes.
Yeah, right. So that's.
I remember when you jump and you're in shooting form, you're passing. That's for sure. If you jump first and you're in shooting form, you're passing the ball, because that's not.
Oh, you got my tendencies.
No, I was
This guy's been studying you, Dwight. Noel's been studying you.
Yeah. I remember that when we were playing. If I play you, well, I won't do that.
No, but you had a fantastic head fake too. So that was part of the package.
Yeah.
Well, you have to like develop these things, because I wasn't the most athletic guy. I always thought I was kind of quick, but I was never like the fastest runner, the highest.
That's why I was asking you who your idol was, because there's a lot of Larry Bird in the way you played. Do you agree?
I don't know. Maybe. I like how he plays smart, so I think I'm a smart player, and I'm not trying to do a 1,000 moves to break somebody down. I'm trying to like
right,
and that's not really my style. It's tiring. It's very tiring to like play one-on-one.
Yeah, like what a lot of these guys nowadays do, right? They like to dribble and
That's
spin
right.
and go
Yeah,
behind the
yeah.
back and between their legs. But yeah, you weren't like that. You're quite simple with that. But so you're there in La Salle, and like he said, you walked in, practice, they liked your height, and then you're on the team. How soon after that are you? I mean, fully recruited? They enlist you almost immediately the day you're there?
Well, yeah, but we had since I was transferring from a college, another school, I had to do my residency.
Yeah.
So for that first year, I was in residency with Noli Locsin was also my at my time tour in residency. I don't know if you guys remember Frechi Ang.
Yeah.
He's from the college also.
okay.
Yeah.
He was
He's a
there.
good friend of mine, still a great friend
The
of mine.
Manila Metro Stars. Yeah.
Yes, he played for them. And then I think he played for Pure Foods too for a year or two.
Yeah,
Yes, he did. He did.
Yeah,
Yeah.
he did.
Yeah, so us three, there was a couple other guys who were on the training team, the sitting out for a residency. So that during that time, of course, we're practicing the whole time. I remember having some, scrimmages and stuff against other teams. So I guess from there they kind of assessed us and figured, okay, these are the guys who are going to be moving up next year. When they're eligible.
Okay, but Frechi never played for La Salle, right? Did he?
Who?
Frechi.
Yeah, he ended up dropping out and he moved back to Bacolod.
Never suited up.
He never made that.
Yeah, I don't know. I can't remember why. I can't remember why he did that, but yeah, after that first year, he went back.
Yeah, because I'm hearing this for the first time that he was actually there at La Salle.
I know.
with you.
Yeah.
But since we're talking about La Salle already, it's the perfect time, Dwight. I think we should enter with a segment of our show that we call the time capsule. Sid Ventura, who's not with us today, prepared some photos for this episode just to go through your timeline. So time capsule. Sorry, I need to check the spiel, and I apologize for those who want us to read it immediately. This time capsule is brought to us by Fitbit. Okay, it helps everyone in the world get healthier. From counting your steps to giving personalized insights on your heart rate and sleep patterns, log your exercise and access great tools and content on the Fitbit Premium, all on the Fitbit platform. Check out their line of products on Fitbit.com. Feel the power. And you see the different models there. Check that out on Fitbit.com.
I made 10,000 steps for February, so that's a good thing, right?
Okay, so Noel and Jay have their Fitbits over there. Thank you so much. Let's enter the time capsule right now. And let's see what Dwight remembers.
Oh, there you go.
Oh, this is a long time ago.
Yeah, check that out. And it's got some signatures on it as well.
Uh-huh.
Or at least
90.
somebody
Who's
identified
there,
you
right?
guys.
Who's the
Right there.
17?
Dwight is on the front, very front, beside the late Jonas. The late Jonas Mariano is with him.
Jonas there.
And we know the most of these guys are familiar to us. But let's. I guess we should go through who's who. Dwight.
Okay, so next to me, right there, to my left, that's Jonas, and then right behind me, that'd be Noli Locsin, Dong Verhere.
Right.
The late over.
Yeah, Adi, Papa, Rafa.
The late Rafa as well.
The late Rafa Tinglasan also.
Yeah, great guy. He's just life of the party.
Yeah.
Right.
John Cardell, Eddie Villaplana. And then behind Eddie, I think that's June. June Limpot.
Yeah, that's
June Limpot.
Number 9.
That's
Sticky, Bachman, G, Abanilia, Boss G.
Yeah.
Arnel.
Guste.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Who's number 4? I can't make him up.
Yeah, who's number 4? He's the one I can't identify.
Pons Costello, maybe?
Oh, is that Pons? Yeah, it might be Pons. And the last guy's Teddy, right?
I can't see it. It's kind of blurry for me. And then I think there's Teddy Monasterio next to him.
Yeah.
Wow.
The last is Teddy.
Yeah, I still see Pons a lot. And Noli. I see those guys.
No. I saw Noli last night. He was at the game.
Oh, okay, good.
He was at the Gilas game. He arrived together with Bobby Jose.
Oh, yeah, well,
Dicky's Dicky's the boss now over at UAAP, right?
No, he's now the head of the Philippine Sports.
Oh, no, sorry. Oh, you're right.
Right. But I saw Dicky last night as well. So I saw 2 of these guys last night at the Gilas game. So tell us about this bunch of guys, Dwight.
I can't remember. This must have been I want to say this is probably my year of my residency because Spons was still there, and then Noli played with us then. But
So it's like 89. This is like 89.
So this is not UAAP because you couldn't play UAAP.
So. I don't think it is. It might have been the intercollegiate, maybe the national.
Probably,
yeah.
Yeah.
Right back then. No, I can't remember too much about this picture. I just know all the guys though.
Were you playing guard?
No,
Did
back then
play
I was playing. I came off the bench, I think, during the time. I was playing power forward.
Okay.
Okay.
Yeah. Because
So
you're
like
tall, right?
our first year in the UAAP, Noel was still playing, right, for the first 3 games.
Yeah.
And then he got there's some violation that he played in.
Suspended,
Yeah.
So I started, and I was playing his position at the 4. Yeah. So, well, I mean, I would also shoot outside, but yeah, I was playing 4. I was guarding 4. Like, I remember guarding like Big Pablo. At certain times, I had to guard Jolly, but I think Jolly played more 5 back then.
Yeah, that's right. That's right. There's lots of hype when you came in. It came out in the papers, and then people are talking about you because you're from the States and you're a mystery to everybody. Nobody knew how you played. Unlike the other guys, we've seen them in high school, more or less. So you
And
come in,
not very many Philippines were coming in at the time. So
that's right.
Right, like you said, I was one of the first guys coming through college, especially, right? Because I know they had Philippines before for the national team, was it?
Yeah. There were a bunch in the 80s. There's a bunch of Philippines. In fact, there were Americans who were just naturalized, no Filipino blood at all. But so you came in, so everybody was curious to see you, and then of course it became a famous the triple L limpot scene in Lago.
Really, I never heard that. That's
They would talk about you guys together. In fact, somebody commented that already earlier.
Oh, okay. There it is.
There you go.
This is a good roster, no? You have 4 players here who are children of legends. Castelo, Backman, Papa, and Mariano.
That's right.
Right.
That's right.
That's a great
crazy.
point.
Yeah. So something Jay Mercado would see. Only something only Jay Mercado
only
would
Jay would see that.
Who were your closest? I mean, I know you guys were a tight knit bunch. You won a championship immediately when you came into the team, Dwight and. Who were your closest friends on this team?
It was Noel, Ponce Costello, and Frechy Ang coming in. I remember those are, I think, one of the first guys I met coming in. And then since we were on the training team that first year, we weren't with the varsity team yet. We were the ones who always see with each other. So we'd always hang out with each other, going out and things like that, eating together. So, and I'm still close to those guys now. So Frechy lives in the Bay Area now. So when I'm there, I usually call him up and we'll see each other. And then like Noel, I'll see every once in a while around here. Same with Ponce.
Yeah, for a beer. When it's Noel, it's got to be drinking. So that's funny.
I want to ask about the very young June Limpot. When you first played alongside June Limpot, did you think this guy's gonna be a superstar right away, or was he just raw talent?
Well, when I got here that first year, he was already the star, but I don't remember. Well, let me think about that. No, definitely he was already the star.
Yeah.
And then I remember watching him in games, not necessarily Salle games, but I remember watching him in the PABL games. And I remember we played against who was Marlou playing with at the time? Santa Lucia? PABL. So I remember those two, they were matching up in a game, and wow, June was just taking him every time in the post, just really dominating him. And I go, wow, and he's dominating this, Marlou the time. And Marlou wasn't, Marlou was really good back then too, of course. Coming up. Yeah. So so we saw it. And then of course June could shoot outside too. So
he had that nice jumper.
Yeah, nice jumper outside.
Turn around.
What about John Del Cardel?
I was about to ask about John Cardel.
He was like the second coming of Jho Jho Lastimosa.
Yeah. So John, I also saw too. I mean, it's so athletic, right? It's very, very athletic guy. Was dunking very good, pretty nice shot too, and played hard. So when I saw John, I go, yeah, this. So the way I thought of it was June Limpot, John Cardel, and Jonas Mariano. I understood that they were like on the junior national team, and then got recruited to LaSalle, and so those for me were the big 3 when I came in because that's what I heard, and then so definitely those are the guys I was trying to watch, and then hopefully try to beat them out in their position so they get some playing time.
Tell us about your coach, Dwight. How was Coach Derek when you met him? What were your impressions of him, and what was your relationship like with him?
Yeah, it was okay. I mean, very strict. Like we're saying, you can ask Noel about this too. You're not really a player if you haven't played under Coach Derek, especially back in college, because he's very strict. He would, yell at us, get mad at us, make us run, and all that. But then, you notice that it's for a reason. It wasn't just because he's mad or something. He really wants us to be better, the team better, basically, right? To have success as a team. I don't know if he's able to do that nowadays, like with Salle went recently. I think maybe the guys might not take it the same. The approach might have to be different. So I'm sure he mellowed out through the years. In fact, he did when he was coaching in the PBA. It wasn't the same as he was doing in the college ranks. But yeah, no, he's a great coach. I liked him, and through the years, even now, if I called him up, he'd take my call if I need something just to talk to him. I'm sure he would, pick that phone up for me, for any of his players. Yeah.
Well, look at this photo. You guys were a bunch of kids.
Yeah, right.
Championship runs.
Yeah, look at that.
I mean, yeah, that's Richard, right?
Yep, back there. Yeah, he was injured. So he got injured. I forget what his injury was, but he was out for, I'd say, about a year.
Mm-hmm.
Then he came back, and then he's picked up again.
Yeah, we see a lot of these guys.
Yeah, what made this team so special? Because at the time, you had stiff competition at Ateneo, FEU. They were also pretty strong teams. But what made this team so special for LaSalle?
It seemed like everyone got along. We got along well. I think it makes it also, we were a good team. So we had, good players. We had a good system. We were winning. So I think by the fact of winning, I think it kind of helps you,
of course,
become, like closer or special or something. And back here, we also kind of knew our roles, even though we're young. Of course, guys wanted to score and this and that. But when it comes down to it, we need a point, or we have to call a play. It's going to go to June, or we'll call a play for John, right? It's not, and then that was okay with everyone else because we're kind of a lot of guys knew their roles, and I think that's really to be successful any level. You have to know your roles. But when you're young, you don't want to roll. You want to be the man. You want to be the main guy, right? So if you can get a bunch of guys who are already kind of know that, or are okay with that, then you can have success, and that's what happened with us.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah,
that was great. Yeah, so those were back-to-back championships. Of course, you came on the tail end of that, right? You weren't there. In the
yes.
first one. You were doing your residency.
Yeah. I remember watching the game against FU with that first year that we won. So me and Bonds were in the stands and watching the game. It was in Rizal Memorial. So we were watching, and I think we won that game. I think that was the first game.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. So, and they were able to defend that championship the next year, which was fun, and the year after that. But that's the controversial one, right?
Yeah.
Yeah. But let me ask you, because we asked you about Limpot, if you thought he was going to be a star. You said he already was. How about Gia Bonilla? Did you think he was going to become a head coach later on in his career?
Team manager.
No, I thought he was going to get out of basketball afterwards, because I think he got drafted also, right? I think there's 8 of us that got drafted from that team that the year we turned pro, and I think he was one of the guys. I want to say Swift. Is that correct? Did you guys know?
I'm not sure really, but we will check.
But he played for I think he played for the Swift franchise in the PABL.
Oh, yeah, okay. Yeah, and then I thought he was just gonna get out of it, and I think it was him. I'm not sure if it's him or his wife's family had a business that he was working on with or something like that. I thought he was just gonna go in the business sector, and not go back to basketball. I was surprised actually when he did. I didn't realize he was into basketball.
He was drafted by 7-Up in the 4th round of the 1993 draft.
Coach Derek, right? Coach Derek.
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
Yeah,
which round? Which pick was he?
4th round of the 1993 draft.
Okay. Did he play with them? Did he sign with them for a year?
No. He never played in the PBA.
Never played.
He never played in the
okay.
PBA. Yeah.
Okay.
He came on as a coach later on, and then now he's a team manager.
Mm-hmm. Who did he coach for? I don't remember him coaching.
Derek.
He coached for Petron. He coached Petron.
Sorry,
yeah. San Miguel.
San Miguel.
Yeah, San Miguel.
Oh, okay. Oh, no, he didn't coach in like college or something before
Nag-Lasal coach ba siya
Not-
for a while? Si G?
Parang,
No.
parang.
Yeah,
It's
yeah.
like he was
Yeah.
for a season or two in LaSalle. I think he might have been.
I think that's
I
when he
remember
was
right.
under Coach Yang at Red Bull, if I'm not mistaken.
At Red Bull,
okay.
he was one of the assistants of Yang. That's right, at Red
Yeah.
Bull. That's where he
Mm.
started his PBA journey as a coach.
Mm-mm.
But I think he handled LaSalle maybe for a year or two, Dwight. Maybe
Yeah.
late 90s.
Okay, yeah. Yeah, smart player. I mean, like him, Don Vejera also.
Yeah,
our point
that's a
guards.
coach. Yeah.
Yeah, so I think they, especially they weren't. Well, G played more, but Dong didn't play very much. So, but he would, I know he knew it. He knew the game because he was always watching. He became a great coach afterwards.
Well, he was a high school legend. Dong Vergere was. He played
really?
played in San Beda.
Okay.
Mhm.
One of those San Beda guys, and one of those that strong team of San Beda with Ronnie and Eric and Jerry Esplana and Dindo. He was on that team, right?
Yeah.
Dong
Yeah.
Vergere.
Yeah.
They were on one team.
Yeah, plus-
Yes, they
Yep.
were.
with Benji Paras, by the way, Dwight.
Oh,
Yeah.
yeah.
Okay. Yeah, they had to be a big guy.
And Maki De Hoya. And Maki De Hoya was with them as
Yeah.
well.
Oh,
So can you
awesome.
imagine
I
how
thought
strong
was
that
open.
team was? That's a
Oh,
crazy
okay.
team, right?
Yeah. Who was their coach?
Ato Badulato.
Oh, Badulato.
Okay.
The great Ato Badulato. It says Coach G handled LaSalle for the season.
There you go.
Oh, there.
Maybe.
Okay.
We're not sure, but yeah, I mean, thanks for that, Robert.
Oh,
Okay.
And then
No, I
Coach
have a
Juno.
question.
replaced-
Yeah. I have a question actually. Replaced by Coach Juno. I have a question about you guarding multiple positions, Dwight, because I know you went up against FEU, and we know FEU's got a lot of talent
Yes.
on that team. But then you had to switch off against Johnny Barrientos every now and then. So what was it like going up against a very young and I would probably say raw Johnny Barrientos at the time?
Well, I felt so much quicker back then. So I was like in my mind, I thought no one can beat me laterally on the side, side to side.
Mhm.
And so when I guard somebody quicker, I stay further back away from them. So I give a lot of space. And then if he goes up for the shot, because I know Johnny didn't really shoot that well, or he didn't want to shoot. He wanted to always get to the hoop. So I'd always stay a couple steps off of him. So he comes off and we switch or something. I'll give him space, because when he makes that move to the to going to the hoop, I have to step backwards. I'm not stepping sideways to try to stop him, because I'm not going to. So that would be the thing, and it just kind of try to make Pablo his shot when he puts it up.
Yeah.
That's in this kind of challenge. But then later on in the PBA, he developed that shot, so it was much harder to guard him because he can pull up from outside. Yeah. And then
Dwight, how popular?
Since I did start off as a big, or since I was playing power forward, we just kind of learned through the years. Like Gabby Velasco, kind of taught me some stuff in the post, how to position, rebound, and stuff like that. And then we'd work on post defense. So it's just a lot of effort in the post. And since I'm almost as tall as Vic Pablo and I have to guard him, it would be not easier, but I can do it because we're almost the same height.
Mhm.
And he wasn't like super strong or something. It's hard if these guys are really strong down low. Like Noel's a hard guy to guard in the post for me. Really strong legs. Vic will pull up, maybe fade away a little bit or create space and then rise up and shoot. But Noel would kind of go through you and get to the hoop and get an and one foul or something. So
Like
there are
Barkley.
different styles there.
I have a question on how did you handle your newfound popularity? I'm very sure you were very popular in the
That's a good question.
It was weird because
There's
people
Danny.
look at you, and even like when you're out in public, since I'm tall, people would look. But of course, like in the general public, they didn't know who I was. But at LaSalle, it's kind of the same thing. They knew I grew up in the States, and so people would look at me. They wouldn't really talk to me too much. So some people would, but mostly no. So I don't know. It was more like people looking. So it wasn't really, and I never really thought of it that. I never really thought, because like I said, those thought like June. Well, June was kind of shy, but Jonas, very outgoing. Those are the guys that I think were more of the stars that were the celebrities on campus. So
speaking of Johnny Barrientos, here you are trying to steal the ball away from Johnny. And that's Jason Webb on the right side.
Oh.
So you got to play with Jason as well.
Yes.
And that's Tony Boy behind you.
There, yeah, Tony Boy too.
Tony Boy Espinosa.
Tony Boy, That's too bad that he got injured because he was really he is a nice,
really good.
really good player.
Yeah, he was. So we
Yeah.
found this. We unearthed this photo, and there you are playing some tough defense. And you talked about defense a bit. Noel asked you about it. Were you comfortable defending? Because you said you wanted to be a point guard and you're shooting from the outside and all of that.
Yeah.
Of course, you're tall, so they put you in the post. You're defending imports. Maybe you're defending all these beefy, big guys. You even got to play against maybe some of these veterans. I don't know if you played against Victorino and maybe Gidaben. Did you reach Gidaben, Juan Fernandez? No.
Yeah, I reached them. I think Manny was my teammate. Victorino was my teammate with Pepsi for a while. But yeah, no, I didn't go with those guys. They were too tall. They were by that time. No, I wasn't playing in the post anymore. In the pros.
Mm-hmm. So si Janinga was one of the toughest guys there.
Yeah.
You mentioned Vic Pablo earlier. Vic Pablo, how good was Vic Pablo?
Very good. He was also my teammate too. But anyways, yeah. I mean, he looks thin, right? But he's solid in the post. It's hard to move him. He moves well, but then like what I say, he has a great jump shot. So he can turn either way and shoot either way, going either way with his back to the basket. And then he would bring up the ball really high. His set points up here, and then he release up really high. So even if you're there on him, you're not going to block the shot. So that's what really made him good. He would just be quiet too. Next thing you know, he'd have like 20 points and 8 rebounds or something in the game. Yeah, tough player.
I'm not sure how good Ateneo was during your time, but how was the rivalry like back then?
It was there, but when I first came here, I go, what? I didn't understand the rivalry. They said, "Oh, when you play Ateneo, it's going to be it's such a big game." And I was saying, "Really? I don't see it. I don't know why, or I didn't realize until we got to that game, and then I realized, oh my goodness, all the fans are there, all the students are there watching and screaming,
they're cursing at you."
I mean, throwing coins. I got hit by a coin one time.
Oh yeah.
We had towels over our head trying to protect ourselves.
Yeah. I'm sure there was tayo na mo lago. Ganun, may ganun
siguro. And I remember when I got hit, I looked up and I saw a guy that I knew from Ateneo, and I forget his name, but I looked at him and I said, I'm going to come up there and get you. And then years later or something, I saw him again. He goes, "You know what, Dwight? I never threw that coin." And I go, "Really?" I go, "Okay."
You just look like a guilty fella.
Yeah. I mean, they're all just yelling at you anyway. So the emotions and everything. So
nobody told you about. Nobody gave you like a seminar about the rivalry. Okay, we're going up against Ateneo. Here's what it's been like through the years. Nobody ever gave you that.
Not too detailed. Well, I remember Coach Derek mentioning it, and then some of the players were mentioning it. Like, I think Jonas was the one who said, it's a really big rivalry, this and that. So they told me, but they didn't tell me. They didn't describe it. They just said it was a big rivalry. So, it was good. But I do have a good story. I tell all my Atenean friends. When I played for Salle, we never lost Ateneo. Ever in the UAAP.
That's actually true, I think.
You can look it up. I'm sure you guys can look that up.
You have to call out your Ateneo friends, huh?
Yeah. But well, they're on top of the mountain now, so I won't say anything.
But then when you found out about it, did you start to like isolate your Ateneo? You're not my friend, or did it ever get that far? Because for some people,
it was.
It actually did get that far.
I was always pretty cool with everybody there, and like in fact, I saw Michael Singh recently, like last I don't know when it was.
Mike Singh.
Yeah, nice. I remember he was one of the guys there, and he was always cool. He plays hard and everything. There was a couple of guys that would kind of get on your nerves, like on any team. I just can't remember who it was at the time, but you kind of get into it. But then after that, especially after a while, it just kind of
when you get old,
you need to outgrow that.
Yeah, I mean, like Eric Reyes, you guys just had him on recently. Really good friend of mine. And
how can you be mad at Eric Reyes, right? He's a good guy. He's one of the good guys on that.
And apparently, he's from LaSalle High School. So
He was a captain.
He got me to play on the LaSalle alumni league, that high school league that we joined.
Right. So He and Joey Guanyo were stars at LaSalle Green Hills together. Then they went.
Oh, Joey was okay.
Yeah. They were that's why they were champion in the MMBL in 1986 because they were the seniors.
Okay.
And how can you beat a team with those two guys, right?
So the inside-outside threat.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Right. Yeah,
How's
so
Joey Guanyo? I haven't seen him for a while. I mean,
he's with the PBA. He's one of the guys who heads the committee, right, Noel?
Technical committee. Yeah, he's one of he's part of the technical committee.
Yeah.
So I see him all the time. I saw him I'll see him tonight.
Oh, great. Tell him I said hi because he was we were drafted at Coney Island that first year together.
Mm-hmm. That's right.
Oh, wait, maybe it was the year before. He might have been.
He also said, said
92.
He'll be on the show soon.
Yeah.
He'll be on the show soon. He said yes already. So
okay, great.
Yeah.
Yeah, I'm sure he has a lot of stories too.
Yeah, he always has a lot of stories.
Yeah, let's move to the next. Yeah, next photo. There you are. And then so when you're playing in LaSalle, Dwight, you're allowed to play in the PABL at the same time, right? There was no ban on that. So you played in the PABL. This is Triple V, but you didn't play for Triple V right away. You played for Magnolia first.
Yes, Magnolia first. So back then you had to play 1 year in the UAAP before you can play in the semi-pro league. So So I ended up playing for Magnolia in 91. Yeah, 91. And then Coach Derek was with Triple V. Coach Norman Black was. I don't know. I don't think Norman was the coach, but he was like
San Miguel coach.
He was the guy I had to talk to ask for my release, basically. So I went in there and I asked him if I can be released to so I could play for Triple V, and he allowed it. So that was good. And it was a request through Coach Derek. So
but in Magnolia, you played with some of the LaSalle guys as well, right? June Limpot.
Yeah, John was on the team. John Cardell.
Okay.
Who were the other guys? June Limpot was there.
June Limpot.
Was Gia Vanilla on that team as well?
I think so. Yeah.
Yeah.
Most of the guys. I think Dickey was on that team also.
Yes.
Yeah.
I remember right.
And some others like Romy Lopez, if I'm not mistaken.
So who were the guys in Triple V that you ended up with? I mean, aside from these guys, of course, Rafa's there. The other guy, the Rafa's got his arm around. Is that Aison?
Yeah, that's Arthur
Aison. Arthur Aison.
Yeah. We still have a chat group with our Triple V guys. We'll text everyone.
Oh, that's great.
Yeah, Django Rivera was on the team. Vic and Vernie Villarias.
Okay, I was talking to Vic.
And then later on, Vic, Pablo, and Johnny joined us on that team.
Yeah.
But we started off mostly LaSalle guys at first, since Derek was right with LaSalle. And then they recruited some other guys later on. I think Jolly played on the team too.
Yes. Jolly played for Triple V, but were you together? I mean, at the same time, you guys were there. Okay.
Yeah.
And then I'm looking at the photo. So you got your hands up. Is this a championship?
Yeah, this is a championship. We won a few, so I'm not sure which one this was.
I see Albert Mendoza to your left.
Yeah, he was there also.
Mendoza. Okay.
Yeah, he was there. Albert was another guy who was on the Ateneo team at the time when we played.
That's right.
Yeah, another nice guy. There's really a bunch of nice guys there. It's like
how can you be angry at them, right?
Yeah, right.
No, it's more contrived. It's like people who pass it down to them and try to tell them that there's a rivalry. But amongst you guys, there's really nothing going on.
Not really.
Most of the time, except for maybe the homegrown guys, the guys who've been there from grade one.
Maybe Rafa used to always get into it, and then so he would say stuff. But then he would
always say stuff.
Yeah, but I mean, it would just be all a joke, though. But he can.
But Rafa started out in a Jesuit school as well. He was in Xavier when he was young.
Oh, really?
Yeah. That's why he used to play in the Xavier Alumni League.
Also, okay.
Yeah.
He was everywhere.
He hit a big shot to force a game into overtime. The video was all over. Yeah. Anyway, the Xavier community.
No, I guess Ateneo, I wanted to ask, who was your chief rival, Lago? Who they pair you up against? Like there's always supposed to be somebody you're supposed to be like, this is your guy, Dwight. So who was your chief rival?
On the Ateneo team or just
Ateneo?
Who did I guard there?
Who was on that team in '91?
I don't remember guarding
Dixon, these are the guys.
Oh yeah, Richie was there.
Not sure if Vince.
Olsen? Huh?
I don't remember one person in particular, one player. Who were the other?
Just putting this as a footage that Rod Yabes put up. who were on that team. You won the championship, defeating Crispa. Tito Eduque was the team manager. Virgil Villavicencio, who I was with last night, assistant coach.
Yeah.
And there's some of the players right there: Vernie,
Yeah.
Rafa, Ronnie, Eddie
Art
Boy,
Alan
Alan
Sasan, that's right.
Alan Sasan, and
Sasan,
Jolly.
yeah.
There. Yeah.
Ronnie Kanding, there's a name.
Yeah.
There's a name too.
And I always remember. When I think of Triple V, it's Ronnie Kanding for some reason. It comes into my mind all the time.
For me, it's Triple V. It's the Villarias brothers, like automatic. Like
Vernie is a great point guard.
Yeah.
I'll ask you a kind of a personal, non-basketball question, Dwight. You played for Triple V.
Yeah.
Is this the time when you met who was then going to be your future wife?
I met her, yes, during that time, but we didn't start dating until I was already in PBA by then. I had a different girlfriend at the time, but
Okay.
yeah. So she was still in high school too when I first met her, I think. And then she went to La Salle, and so my last year at La Salle, I think, was her first year, and then I had graduated, and then I wasn't dating her yet then until afterwards.
Okay. So there's no direct relation of you playing in Triple V and your wife. I mean,
no. So because her father they were our manager at the time. Her father, Vic, was the manager for our team. My first year that I played, so 1990, 1990. So he was our team manager, and then we'd always go to one of the restaurants after the games. They would give us gift certificates after we won a game. I had a lot of gift certificates. They're always eating there. Yeah, that was nice.
Well, I wanted to ask you before about why the number 15. You always wore the number 15.
I think that was what was available because back then in amateurs you can't have like a 32 for Magic or something, right? You couldn't have it in the. I don't think you can have it in the amateur leagues.
In college, I don't think. Yeah, they didn't allow it.
In college.
40,
The highest was 20, I think. 20 was the highest.
And then in high school in the States, I wore 30 and 31. So I don't know why I picked 15. I just came out.
But it stuck with you. You're always 15 wherever you went, right?
Yeah. Then I just kept it. Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
I'm guessing the left photo is a 1991 championship. The year before, you won the UAAP, your first UAAP title.
Yes.
How do you compare both championships?
UAAP. When you're playing for school, it's better. It just is because you're playing for your school, your pride, and everyone's behind you, and everyone has that school spirit.
Nice.
You're just not doing it just for your team and your teammates and your coach. You're doing it for the whole school. So I think any time you do something like that, what can actually compare to that for me was when we played the All Filipino, San Miguel. When I was at San Miguel with Never, that was another one that was really memorable. So those two, the college one and then that one in the pros. But Triple B, of course. What's that?
2001.
2001.
Yeah, All Filipino.
2001.
Yeah. My brother was on. He was playing for Never at the time.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
Speaking of your brother, were you the one responsible for bringing Elmer straight to La Salle, or were there other feelers for Elmer?
No, he same thing. I think he was offered a junior college over there, and then since I was over here already, we were talking, and he decided he wanted to come here also. So that was, and then there was no other choice to go except to La Salle since I was already there. Yeah. He told me years later, he goes, he would never came to the Philippines to play basketball here if I didn't come here first. So he never. I guess he always wanted to be back home, so which he is now. So
right. 1 year together, right? 1 year together in La Salle.
What's that?
No, they didn't.
How many years did you play together in La Salle?
Me and Elmer. So since he came straight from high school, he can play right away. So 1990, and then I think he played it through 94. So we played the 2 years together.
Did you find it weird? Did you find it weird, or were you disappointed that you guys couldn't be on the floor at the same time?
Yeah, it sucked. Yeah, it did. It sucked, right? No, I didn't really think about it too much because we couldn't really do anything about it. But yeah, I don't know if this is true. It was Father Holscher of Ateneo is the one who kind of put that rule in, or got it to the board to vote.
Yeah.
So you can't have 2 foreign players in at the same time or something.
Yeah.
And at the time, I was only American. I wasn't a dual citizen yet. So,
Yeah. I remember that because you'd sub each other out, or the coach had to make sure that you guys weren't in at the same time. He had to shuffle that lineup. I'm sure it was pretty tough for Coach Derek as well.
But I got to know Father Hosher also over the years after my time in the college ranks. So nice guy. No. And
nice Atenean.
Masses.
Nice Ateneo.
Yeah, the masses on Sundays.
Yeah. So, but when did you decide?
Bunch.
Yeah, when did you decide it's time for me to go to the PBA?
Yeah.
Basically, when I graduated, I wanted to just make sure I got my degree. I was always worried, one injury away and it's over. So you have to have some kind of fallback.
So when you were at the PBA, did you look up at the ring and say, "Okay, this is what I dreamt about before"? Remember, you were looking up at the rim and say you wanted to be there
wasn't one. No, there wasn't one moment when it hit me, but I always knew that was the goal when I came over here, when I transferred here. I remember talking to Jonas Moriano, and we were talking about our futures or something. And this was probably like the first year I was here, maybe the second year when we were already on the team, when I was already on the varsity team. And then he asked me, I go, I want to, one day I want to play in the PBA or something. And then he goes, wow, that's really ambitious of you or something. And I was thinking, down to myself, I was saying, no, but that's why I came here. But I didn't say anything else to him. I came here to try to make it there. And so, if I don't make it there, what's the point? I guess I wouldn't be here anymore or something. So it was just, I don't know, it's kind of like a belief. I don't know if you guys believe in that, but I think it's kind of true. You kind of, if you have something in your mind, you can manifest that thought into reality.
Yeah. Right.
But you really have to deep down want it and work at it. It just, just because you think about it, it just doesn't.
It's a Miyagi concept, huh? Karate Kid concept.
You have to just.
I mean, I knew I wanted to because I remember going to church when I was young, and I would be daydreaming about basketball, or wherever I might be. So it was something that it was always on my mind growing up. It never left. That's how come I knew that's what I wanted to do.
So you joined this team, and then you, as you mentioned, there were some young guys as well. So you joined the Coney Island Ice Cream Stars.
Yep.
That's your first team in the PBA. I'm not gonna ask you about Alvin, Jerry, Glenn, because these guys are we know they're great. Dindo. I'm gonna ask you about the bookends on top. Abby King,
right?
Frankie Lim.
Yeah.
How was it to play with these guys? At that time, they were basically grandfathers in the PBA already.
Okay, so with Abby King. Abby King was a nice guy. Seemed like kind of like a happy-go-lucky guy. So he was always seemed like he's always joking and laughing. But boy, if you made that guy mad, you don't want to make that guy mad. I've seen him like when he gets mad or something, or like gets really intense. Then no stopping him. So, but yeah, he was a nice guy, great guy. In fact, years later, he lives near where my brother lives now.
Yep, Washington State. Yeah,
Washington. Yeah, it's a place called Gig Harbor. I think he was in Gig Harbor. So I was back there a few years ago, and he went to one of their Philippine rec leagues. He showed up there, so I was able to talk to him there and stuff. So just through the years, he never really talked to me. It wasn't anything about basketball. It was just a cool guy, like a friend you would just meet and you were just talking. So it wasn't any like mentorship in that way.
Okay.
Yeah. But when it came like to Frankie also he didn't really talk about it, but I asked him. I would ask him. We were stretching in one practice, and I asked, "Hey, Frankie, what do you do? How do you control the game when you're the point guard? How do you control the game? Are you looking at the clock and who you're looking for to pass to, or setting it up, stuff like that?" And he would just give me some insights here and there. But another one of those kind he was kind of more quiet. He doesn't really come up to you and start talking a lot or something like that. But if you talk to him, he'll engage. So I haven't seen Frankie for years, and he's a coach now somewhere. He went back to
he coaches NLEC in the PBA now.
Okay.
PBA.
Yeah, so he just won a couple of nights ago.
But these older guys, that
they lost.
You don't mess with them on the court if they you upset them.
But I mean, did they teach you a few tricks? These two veterans,
especially
I just watched them. I watched them do it, but but yeah, they weren't really. Well, Abe wasn't really playing that much. Frankie actually didn't. I don't remember playing that much also back then. So
yeah, I guess they were. But they did say when they came on the show, they said they were more like mentors. Or at this point in time, they were just like locker room guys and this and that. But if there's one thing you learned from each of them, what is it?
So like with Abe, I learned that you just have that. There's just this toughness that comes out when you need it. So I would see that, and so that's what I learned from him. And then with Frankie, I think it's more of the mental part of it. He's thinking about it. He's thinking about the game, not just out there just reacting. He already kind of knows what's kind of happening or anticipates what's happening. So I just always see him. I remember him just dribbling down. He's always just looking up. And so I was thinking, what is he thinking in his mind? And so, that mentality of a good point guard is somebody who does that. And that's a great quality to have in a point guard.
So you're not surprised he's a head coach? He became a head coach.
Yeah. I mean, because if you're thinking like that, you can, I think you even have an advantage as a head coach because you already know what it's like to be on the floor and the actual, movement you may need or run. So whatever set you're trying to run, you can kind of you can picture it already. So you can already tell your point guard what to do.
I'm actually looking at this picture. There are a bunch of head coaches in this picture, actually, to be honest with you. Yeah. But I want to ask about this number 17 guy. Yeah, this number 17 kid in this picture. Did you have any inkling that he would be as great as he would be when you started out working out, when you started out with him in Coney Island?
Yeah. No, I didn't know. I mean, of course I knew Olsen like through the years in Ateneo. Saw the player and everything. So I always thought, okay, he came to this team and we have some great point guards, so he's gonna, back them up, come off the bench. Same with me, come off the bench and things. But then he got recruited by San Miguel. I remember them talking.
Jacobs,
yeah, they brought him over, and then they really saw something in him and developed him. All he needed was to break him, basically. He's another, cerebral player. He knows what's happening on the court all the time, and Olsen's very quick. I mean, he's athletic guy, but he doesn't really play that way. You know what I mean? He's quick. He can bring up the ball really fast, but he's not the highest leap or anything like that. But he's solid. You can't leave him open. He'll set up the plays. He's not going to lose the ball when he's handling the ball. So yeah, it was just a good progression that where he started from behind these guys and then moved up and became his own, own legend in his
Dwight, prior to the draft, did Chot Reyes talk to you and say that he'll get you?
No one talked to did they?
Really?
I don't remember anyone talking to me.
Really? Okay.
Yeah, I don't remember, but it could have happened. I'm not sure.
Okay.
Yeah.
Were you surprised that it was actually Chot Reyes who got you?
Exactly. So when they called your name, were you like, oh wow, I'm going to Coney Island?
No, I was just happy I got picked. I was just waiting to be picked. Please pick me. So I didn't.
The dream would come true, right?
Yeah, for sure I knew I wasn't going to be picked first because June was there, and then it was Johnny and was it Johnny and Vic or Vic and Johnny?
Vic and John.
Vic. Okay, so I knew those three were there, and then I didn't think of myself as the fourth. I didn't know.
Wow.
But I figure I'm not going to be in the top three. So sometime after that, because like John, I think I went before John, and I thought John might have went higher.
John went number 6.
6.
Yeah.
How about Benny Cheng was 5? Is that right?
5. That's right.
Yeah. So and then how about Olsen? Where was he picked?
Second round.
Second round.
11.
He and Freddie Abuda right after one after the other.
Boyd came first before Olsen.
So Dickey was picked in the first round also then.
Yeah,
Dickey
number 8. Number 8.
Okay. All right. Oh. Okay. Yeah. So
that was Alaska's ABC draft actually. Barrientos, Bachman, Cardell. That was their ABC draft.
John was picked. I thought John played for Shell. I thought he was drafted by Shell for some reason. He ended up.
John. Yeah.
Cardell, no, he played for Alaska.
First.
Yeah. Oh, he did?
Yeah. First.
Okay.
Well, you didn't stay long with Coney Island though, Dwight. After a year.
Yeah, I got traded. I mean, I never talked to Chot about that, but I wasn't very happy about that trade. I say, what the hell? Why would I be traded for a second round pick? I think it was at the time. So, but I know I had a bad showing in I want to say it was the All Filipino final. So I played quite a bit, and then I think Coach Chut tried to give me a play against Allen to post them up, and I'm not really a post player, but I tried to and didn't work out well. And then I can't remember the rest of the series on how I did, but kind of maybe lost my confidence a little bit. And then after that series, I didn't play much anymore for the rest of the year. I was playing a lot in that first conference, and then after that finals, I wasn't playing much. And then I got traded the following year.
And you went to fairly new team, Pepsi Mega.
Went to Pepsi.
With Coach Derek.
You see Coach Derek there again, right?
Yeah.
Although he was replaced, there was a coaching trade.
Yeah.
Derek and Yang just swapped sides. And
Uh-huh.
then Yang comes in, and then you're there playing with some of these other guys. You were reunited with Cabahug there and Pepsi anyway. You had played with him in the past. Some of these other guys, you mentioned Vic Pablo, Cadel Mosqueda, these guys, Guido Babilonia, Joey Santa Maria, who you knew from way back.
Yeah.
And then Dindo as well.
Yeah.
So Pepsi new team, was it like a new team, fresh start for you, or were you still confused? Why the hell am I here?
Kind of a new team and a fresh start, because then I guess I had a better opportunity to play more, because we had the established stars at Coney Island, right? So we kind of just have to go along with what they do. But Pepsi knew not as many stars there, so we had a chance to play. So it was okay. I was excited about it because like Coach Derek was there, and then we had a good bunch of guys. We weren't very successful though. That was the only problem there. Yeah. So
not too good.
I guess about the time that you found out that the PBA is actually a business, that you shouldn't really have much. You shouldn't let your emotions get in the way of being traded, stuff like that. Or did you find that out
kind of in a way?
Yeah.
Yeah, I always kind of knew that, but like in the PBA, the trades aren't as many, I think, as as the NBA, especially now. But I was in the back of my mind, I knew it was a business, but it's not treated that way a lot, I think. At least back then, you don't really think of it that way. You're part of this team, you're part of this, not really family, but kind of a family. So, if you get on a special team and you guys are good, then you might feel that bond a little bit more. So like these guys, it's not like we have a chat group now and we're all talking to each other. I mean, like individually, I might see these guys or around and talk to them, and it's fine. But it's not like like say your college team that you have a nice group together, or we have a San Miguel group that we have a chat group.
Mm-hmm.
So
Right.
Those. But I mean, it was kind of business-like, I guess, but not as much as you might think.
Yeah, but you stayed in that team for about 3 seasons. After the second season, Mobileine comes in and replaces Pepsi, right? It's the same, basically absorbs the whole Pepsi team. So the name changes. Yes. I guess management changes as well. Did that affect you in any way? No,
not at all. In fact, when they do that, then when they came in, management comes in, you get all these nice little things. I remember we had like free cell phones to use, and then I even had like 3 minutes to call back to the States. That was kind of cool, things like that. Cell phones were just kind of coming in, right? So
Mobileine was new in the market, so they were promoting like anything, right? So they were giving you all these promos, I'm sure.
Yeah.
How big was your phone though? First one.
I had a big. It was actually a phone one. I remember. It was
okay.
But
was it one of those big ones that you can hit someone with?
Yeah, it was. It wasn't that big, but it was pretty big. It was a Motorola also, I think it was. It was a flip one, but it looked like a big triangle thing.
Like Neo in the Matrix. No.
Yeah, and then it even had a little antenna you pull out.
Yeah. But that's of course, you're now sort of being treated as a veteran already at this point, because you've already had quite a lot of experience already. When your brother came into the PBA, what was the best advice that you gave Elmer?
Oh, wow. That's a good question.
Or did you give him advice at all?
Yeah, that's probably why it became a good question.
I don't think I gave him advice. I mean, just the way we are, be professional about things. I didn't have to say anything, but it's not like I'm going to go drinking all night and then not go to practice or something like that, or not practice hard or something. So I think that way maybe, but nothing that I told him. It's just like, like moral support if I'm around, if he has bad game, like, just kind of be there.
Did he bunk with you when he first first arrived here, and then he finally got a place of his own before he went to the PBA?
No, we lived together. So we stayed when he came over to play for LaSalle. We ended up being in an apartment together. Me, him, Noel was there. Tony Boy was there also. I think the four of us. Anyways, so yeah, we were always roommates until in my first year, the PBA. We're still roommates. He lived with me, or we lived together. And then when did we move out? I think we probably lived together until we got married. Probably. I don't think we stayed separately. Yeah. So he got married in I think 97.
Okay.
Yeah, I got married in 98. So
What's
we're still
your age gap, Dwight? You and Elmer.
4 years.
4 years. Okay.
Yeah.
Medyo malayo rin talaga.
What about the physicality? What about the physicality? Did you ever advise him? Like there were a lot of guards who were,
because he played guard. Yeah.
No, it's sort of like if somebody would hit him. I remember somebody hit him in a game, and I want to say it was in in college. I think they're playing UST. Was it Echano? Echano played there.
I know.
Echano was FU.
Yes,
Echano was FU.
FU. FU.
I think it was FU. So my brother took a shot in the game, and then he came. I'm not sure if it was Echano, but somebody came up and like tried to poke him in his eyes. Oh, I was so pissed. I was gonna find that guy after the game.
Big brother.
Yeah.
Nagalit.
Yeah. But I never did. I never found him. But
I'm sure if you did that, Elmer was gonna be pissed at you. You're gonna look weak, man. You have big brothers got to come and get you.
Good point. Yeah, so I was I'm protective of him, or was protective of him, but not in but like talking about it, not really. We didn't.
Okay.
He just knows I have his back. He just knows that.
We never got to ask the question. How many siblings were you in the family?
So I have an older sister who's also living in the States. She's 4 years older than me, so it's kind of convenient. Okay. Yeah.
Great planning. Okay.
Yeah. So, but I did have a half sister who passed away, probably 15 years ago, maybe. Okay. So yeah. So my dad was married before. He had his first wife who had passed away, and then they had a daughter, which is my half sister, and she grew up in Dugugarao, I think, or her husband.
Yeah.
So yeah, she passed away. So 4 of us basically.
Okay.
So you're right. Great planning. Like 4.
I wasn't very close to her. I just met her through the years when I came back.
Yeah. Okay. Then you move on though. So you're there with Pepsi Mobileine for 3 seasons. You get to play with a bunch of other people. Some of them were your former teammates in college. You get to play with them again or whatever in your previous teams. So good experiences. You played with some quality imports as well in that franchise.
Yes.
But then you move on again because life moves on, and all of a sudden you're under Coach Tim Cohn with Alaska, right? And we showed. I think there's a photo of that, Carla, of Dwight with the Alaska squad. There you are.
There you go. Yeah. The late Commissioner June Bernardino.
Yeah, June Bernardino. Boyet Fernandez. Ronnie Santos.
Brian
Punsalan. Oh yeah, Brian in the back. Is this Mike Otto then behind Boyet? Who's behind Boyet? Is that Dickey? I don't know.
17.
Oh, 17. I thought it was 11. Yeah, I don't remember who that is. Huh.
What year was this? 97, right? 96.
Well, he was with 97. He was 97 with Alaska.
Oh, 97. Yeah. Okay. Or 98.
Yeah. I don't remember winning anything with them. What was this trophy for?
Maybe for third place.
Sure. Oh, that must be second place because we went to the finals. One of those conferences.
Yeah.
And
that wasn't the championship trophy. Remember they used to give third, second, first. Okay, third, second.
Yeah, I think it might have been the third place also because it's or maybe the second.
I remember.
I know it wasn't too long, Dwight, that you were with Alaska because, as you mentioned to me, just two conferences and then you moved on again. But how was the experience under Coach Tim with the?
I think it's a great
Fred,
coach.
Mr. Fred Uitengsu, the whole organization, because Alaska prides itself on the doing things the right way and then and all of that, right?
Definitely. The way Tim Cone coached was I really liked it. We were playing in a triangle back in the time, and that triangle is a very effective offense. It takes a lot of energy though to run that offense. You have to be really fit because you're always moving. But it had a great system, so we would practice a lot on the triangle. We weren't practicing a lot on defense. Normally, other teams you're going to do a lot of defense. Say maybe like 60-70% of the time you're working on defense. It seemed like Alaska we were doing offense more, just working on the moves and triangle, the different options you can do based on the defense. But Tim Cone was good because he had our defenses already set. So we'd have what he'd call like 11, 22, 33, 44, 55. So based on that number, that's the person who's going to double. If you're 11, the point guard number 1 will be the one to double. And then he would just tell us who we're going to double that team, that game. So if we call 11, we already know, okay, point guard's going to double on 11, on whoever that guy would be. And then, he would also tell us where to double, when to double, on the dribble, deep in the post, out in the wing, so stuff like that. So very, very organized, like you said, very meticulous about those things. And we did a lot of, with triangle, you have to be really, really meticulous with that.
And before we break for the halftime, I want to just ask, did you get that? Was it easy for you to absorb all of that? Because I know a lot of players get lost in that system.
No, it took me a while, actually, because I was like coming from a losing program, right? We weren't very successful there with Mobileine, Pepsi Mobileine. And then I'm coming to Alaska, who has a great history of winning. So I'm going there, trying to fit in, trying to figure out what to do, how to, play the right way in their system, and pick up all that stuff. And then I was just like overthinking everything. And I was trying to rush. I was rushing and things. I remember like just doing some, just playing, and or like we're just practicing or something, and I would be rushing and doing all kinds of stupid stuff, like for example, shooting an air ball or hitting the bottom of the rim or something like on a layup. Really, really rookie type stuff, like I didn't know how to play basketball. And so I went, and I remember having a bad practice or a bad game, and I walked into the office after practice, and I said, "Hey, Coach Tim, can I talk to you for a second?" He goes, "Yeah." And I think Coach, who was our assistant coach there? Can't remember his name right now.
Wasn't it Chot at the time?
No, it was
Eric.
Mustache. Huh?
Joel Banal.
Yeah. So they were in there. I said, "Coach, I just walked in. I said, Coach, just give me a little bit more time. I'm still adjusting. I know I'm not playing well or whatever, right?" So I think that kind of, once I told him that, I think that's after that I kind of settled down and started playing in that system. So, and then I remember in a game, Jonas came up to me and said, he goes, "Hey, Dwight, just if you have your shot, take your shot. Don't worry about us. We'll get our shots when we want it." Or something. He said something like that. Yeah. I go, "Oh, it's like that. Okay." So after that, I just felt really comfortable. Like, I'll take my shots. Those perimeter shots, I love taking those perimeter shots coming off the pick or whatever. It became so easy once you learn the system, and then once you learn how to play with your teammates there. Great experience there.
Yeah, and Alaska, of course, lots of history on that team. That didn't last long, but we'll go into that after this. Let's just take a short break to remind everyone, Carly, that we're part of the Globally Ballin Network. There's another show called Next Man Up with Diego and Jel on Next Man Up. Catch all their episodes on YouTube and Spotify. And then, please, if you do watch and listen to us on Spotify, send us some love. Rate us 5-star rating on Spotify, please, guys. We need that. And you can become our monthly supporter here on AEOB for $4.99 or 250 pesos a month on Spotify. And we will, of course, acknowledge you and love you for the rest of your life if you become our supporter. Thanks to our members, Joseph S., Leslie May, Divina Gracia, Ramon Dizon. Thank you, sir.
Wow.
For helping us out on the show.
Thank you.
Follow the Globally Ballin Southeast Asia page on Facebook for tidbits of all the shows on the Globally Ballin Network and more. So do that. And so let's go back to Time Capsule right now, which we remind everyone is brought to us by Fitbit. It helps everyone in the world get healthier, from counting your steps to giving personalized insights on your heart rate and sleep patterns. Log your exercise and access great tools and content on the Fitbit Premium, all on the Fitbit platform. Check out their line of products on Fitbit.com. Feel the power. All right, let's dive right back into the Time Capsule. And this photo is a Poky photo with Abahu.
Yep.
Pepsi is ready. So this is Pepsi. This should have been before the Alaska one, but
Alvin Tang, that's right. Alvin was the RoboCop.
I was just talking to him 2 nights ago. He doesn't want to come on the show. He's too shy. But he was watching his son play the other day, and his son's team won against Frankie Lim's team. So he's looking good. He's looking good, and his son's playing very well right now. The guy that I haven't seen in a bit is Kevin Ramos, Albert Ramos.
Yeah,
he's been out of the spotlight.
Is he still in the Philippines?
I don't know. I have nothing on Kevin Ramos, but we're looking for him obviously because we wanted to be on the show as well. But Boy Cabaho has been on the show. We know he's doing well in Cebu.
Yeah,
it's a big shot over there, so no problem with him.
Yeah.
So this is what you said, the short-lived. You said not too successful stint at Pepsi. Then you didn't move on to
Boy Cabaho was one of the first guys who welcomed me when I got traded to Pepsi. He was. I remember him first. Accepted me on that team. Very, very helpful. He was a really, really good guy.
Super nice guy. Well, but you mentioned the word welcome, and we didn't.
It's about the transition to
that. Because when you first entered the PBA in 1993, playing for Coney Island, you're the young stud from De La Salle University. Who's the first PBA guy who said, "Welcome, Mr. Dwight Lago. Have an elbow to your face."
Yeah. Oh, not an elbow to the face, but the guy who welcomed me to the team first was probably Dindo Pumaran, since it's another LaSalle guy or through his brother. But the first guy who welcomed me to the PBA in a game, it was Mon Fernandez actually. I was probably guarding Samboy or somebody. Samboy goes off the pick, and Mon sets the pick, and then he jabs that sharp elbow of his right into my spot down here by your waist on the side. Oh man, we hit right there. It was just pain there for a few minutes, but nothing too bad. It was a nice little love tap, a welcome tap.
No call from the refs.
No, of course no.
Because these guys know how to do it without anyone seeing, right?
Exactly. One hides all that stuff. Those guys are good at that.
That's rare, though. It's usually Jaworski who welcomes these young guys.
I always hear about Jaworski, so I try to stay away from him.
So it was Don Ramon.
Did you get a Jaworski hit? Did you get a Jaworski hit somewhere down the line?
No, because I don't remember him playing that much that time. He played every once in a while, and I didn't have to guard him. So so I never got hit by him. But
if it's not Jaworski, it's Fernandez, right? That's how it is during those times. Let's go to the next photo. Let's skip that. Let's leave this one. And so here's your short stint in Alaska. And I like this picture simply because after 2 conferences, you guys were traded for each other.
Yes.
Yeah. So that was the trade.
Yeah. Well, so Tim Cohn calls me and Boyan into his room after our game. We were out of town, forget where. And then he goes, "Hey guys, had to tell you guys, you've been traded." And me, by then, I'm like business decision, fine. I'm kind of down a little bit because we were doing well. We're going to go into the semis and maybe to the finals again. And then I remember Boyette was really upset about it because he really loved playing for Alaska. He really bought into the system and everything like that, and which I did, but I bought in without emotion. He bought in with emotion. Too. So I mean, I think it was Tim who said, Kenneth was, I think he's the one who said, but Kenneth was a good pickup for them because they can, for what he can do, I guess, as a player for their team. So they were willing. They figured it's worth it to give up me and Boyette to get him, and it worked out for them because they ended up winning with Kenneth, right? They won the next year. I think.
Yeah.
Yep.
He won the first 2. Yeah, he won the MVP that year.
Okay. Yeah. So it was a good move for them.
Mm-hmm. But then you find yourself in Pop Cola, and you're under Coach Norman Black now.
Yeah, and then now we're in a losing program again. Not very. We had some good players. Like Verhel was there, right? And what other big guys? I think Zaldi.
Ali Peak.
Ali was there. That's right.
Now it's easier to look at.
Manel. It was just, but the match wasn't right. Oh yeah, Nick Velasco came in, so we had some good players, but the match of the team wasn't right.
Is that Jesse Cabanayan? That's Jesse Cabanayan, right?
Yeah, Jesse, and then Brix Encarnacion.
Brickster, Brickster.
Zaldi.
Brickster, yeah. Mar Morales is there on the team.
Boy,
Mar Morelos. How about Al Francis Chua on the right
Yeah,
side?
he was assistant there at the time. Oh, he's fat there.
Yeah, he's a bit chunky. A bit chunky there, coach. That's why, But he's
yeah,
obviously
who's the point guard beside Elmer Young again?
Where is down here?
the guy in the middle.
Yeah, gosh, his name escapes me right now.
A small guy.
He was a 3-point champion too. I can't. Man, we're Facebook friends. What's his name?
Tanige?
No.
No. That's not Tanige.
Sorry, who are these?
well,
I'm looking at the lineup.
Gosh, I know this guy.
It'll
Come on, fans, help us out.
Zaldi.
But sadly, his wife passed away. I think last year, 2 years ago.
Mm-hmm. I heard about that too.
Yeah, sad.
Yeah, who's that? Who is that guy? Now I'm like totally curious right now.
I mean, we all know him, but we just can't.
Look in the comments. Somewhere in the comments are
Jasper. The comments with Jasper Ocampo. There you go.
Yo,
Thank you,
that's
Vince and AC
Thank you.
and Robert.
Yeah, these guys are quick.
That's why we love these guys. That's why we love our followers and our viewers. They know
If
everything.
you have a question, they're going to answer it.
That's right.
Yeah,
they do that.
That's right.
But another short-lived stint. But although a lot of these guys, I'm sure became good friends of yours. It looks like a good bunch of guys.
Yeah.
You mentioned Nick. We were talking about Nick. He's just Ali. Probably you guys.
Ali's rookie year.
Ali's
rookie year.
Yeah.
So you get to play against guys like Derek, Yang, Chot, and then now it's Norman. So these are like some of the greatest coaches in the PBA ever.
Yeah.
Ron.
History. You got to play.
Ron
Jacobs.
Eventually, Ron Jacobs.
But and Jong with Chico, no. But so all these great coaches. Which coach's system was best for you?
I really like Tim Cohn's system. That was a really good one. Yeah, but I don't know what he runs now. I'm sure they're not running triangle anymore.
Yeah, it's triangle plus everything else.
Yeah. But that's because Justin Brownlee changed everything for Ginebra.
Yeah,
Really?
and then all these star players that they got. I mean, you can't. It's different.
Have to maximize.
Triangle's not for a star-studded team, right?
So yeah, I really like him. The system. I like Coach Derek for the college system. I think his system works good for college, at least for me. Pros, he was fine and everything, but for the pros, for me, it'd be Tim Cohn. His system, his style of coaching, his system coaching, it works well, I think.
Well, you look like a happy bunch here with the trophy. So even if your stint there was pretty short, the year like 4 conferences, there was a bit of success.
Yeah, there was times, but I don't know. It just didn't have a good feel. Also behind the scenes, it wasn't as harmonious as you'd want it to be.
So were you happy when San Miguel Beer came a call-in and then you were traded for Nelson the Asaitono and Will Antonio, and you get traded to San Miguel Beer, and we all know the success you had with San Miguel later.
I was so happy. Me and Nick were so
happy. Were you rejoicing? Yeah, you were like, yeah, baby.
Yeah, we had a dinner out with Coach Ron and Coach Jong. I think right after we got traded, and it was just talking, just to get to know them, and I was so excited. I was like, okay, let's go. We're with a great team now. Yeah. So and then I knew that they had a really good core already, and they were already successful. And then I guess Coach Jong and Coach Ron saw something in us that we would help that team out, and it worked. Really worked well. So I think we won 5 championships in 7 conferences or something like that. In that our first 7 conferences. Yeah, it was really good.
Oh, there you are with your brother.
My brother, yeah. Yeah.
What are you guys talking about, Dwight? What are you guys talking about there while waiting for someone to shoot a free throw?
Yeah, I don't know, but so during the game when we played in that finals in All Filipino, I made it a point when I guarded my brother, just like really play physical on him. I didn't want to get a shot out on me at all. 0. So I mean, he was working hard and trying to get open and everything, but I was just playing very physical, not like you. No, not like it was my brother. So I mean, that's part of the game, right? You have to just play all out. It doesn't matter who you're playing against. So I remember that, and then I remember after the game, after we won the championship, we were walking out, and then I just kind of put my arm around him and said something like, good job, or just whatever, just kind of, just a little, not it wasn't a pep talk, but just something just to acknowledge that, hey, everything's all good, like good job or whatever, something like that. And then Coach Ron and Coach Joan, they don't miss anything. So they asked me about it. He goes, hey, Dwight, what did you tell your brother after the game? I said, no, just, tell him he had a good game and everything. But nothing really gets past those guys. That's what I learned from them. So me as a coach now, and I think I'm like that anyways, very observant of what's happening around. Mm-hmm. I see all those little things too with my players now. So yeah, I was telling Charlie the other day yesterday that I coach my son's basketball team in high school.
Oh,
and so yeah, so I enjoy coaching them.
Which school is this?
This is the British school. It's an international. Okay. Yeah. Mm-hmm. So non-basketball players, we don't have a lot of height, but trying to make the most out of it.
Yeah. So Coach Jong and Coach Ron are the real big brothers. They're watching over you all the time.
Yeah.
So now you're one of those big brothers.
You came into San Miguel in '99. This is when they already had Danny Ildefonso, and then they just recruited this young kid, Danny Siegel. I mean, talk about these two young guys. I keep asking this question because it's always great to find out where the formative parts of the of their starts were. But Danny Ildefonso, Danny I, how good were they as youngsters when you arrived?
Very good. The thing is, they played well with each other. They didn't seem like to be ball hogs or demand the ball because, Coach would always tell us, we have plays that are going to them anyways. Mm-hmm. But just to see the work they did, like Danny I was always in the weight room. He was watch his diet. He
still is
one of the only guys in the PBA that he really watched their diet, what they're eating all the time. So. They both put in the work, and you can see, when we're playing, it really comes out. It really shows. But but just any one thing in particular, or I can't really remember any one thing. It's just that group of that whole body of work they had that they did to be at that position.
That's right.
So,
yeah. Danny S, what a lethal combination. Then all you guys filling in the middle. You had a good point guard. Your starting five was solid.
And they would listen to us too. I came off the bench with Nick, and Boybit, so we would be three off the bench. But those guys, even though they were, like the stars on the team, they would listen to us. Not that we're trying to tell them what to do on offense or something, but more like, if it's on defense or maybe like since I'm spotting up, they say, hey, I'm open next time. And when they come in double, I'll be open. And I remember telling Danny that, and Danny I, and he passed it out to me. So it's not like there weren't, like you can't tell them anything. So that's what made it good because everyone would talk to each other, and it's not out of jealousy or anything like that. It's like we're trying to be better, we're trying to win, and you're still going to get your points, your stats. So I don't think that was ever a concern with them.
I'm going to go on the controversial side. Sorry, I'll just get this question out there. I'm just going to go on the controversial side here a bit. 1999 MVP award. Should it have gone to Danny Siegel?
Who won it that year?
Benji Paras.
Oh yeah, I was telling Danny. I was telling Danny he should have been the second guy to have gotten the MVP and Rookie of the Year the same year. Mm-hmm. I was telling him that because I think he really played well, but I can't remember all the stats. Stat wise, what Benji did that year. I'm sure he did really well too.
And also Eric Menk was in the conversation as well, by the way.
Oh, okay, yeah. So but Danny won the Rookie of the Year, right?
Rookie of the Year, yeah.
That was hands down.
Second place in the voting for MVP. Was he
very close second place?
Yeah, and Sonny Alvarado also was a contender back then.
Oh, okay.
Oh well,
before he got disqualified.
Who was higher, Menker or Sonny Alvarado? I think Sonny had.
Yeah, Sonny had better stats, but in terms of voting, Benji won, then Danny Siegel came in second.
Oh, okay. Yeah, I always told Danny I thought he should have won.
Yeah. I was wondering, from 93, you've been a 6-year veteran when you transferred to San Miguel. You were under Coach Ron and Coach Jong. You've learned a lot from different coaches, the best coaches around. What else did you learn from Ron and Jong after?
I just saw like the single focus they have on the game. It seemed like they're always thinking about the game. After the game, they would have dinner and they would talk about the game. And then they would go over a lot of tape and stuff. So, like, I remember, I think it was Jong. It seemed like he was always. I'm not sure if he's the one who said it. It could have been it could have been one of the other coaches. But they were saying that it was like a nonstop thing for them. So I guess to have that kind of success, you really have to just put everything into it. But how long can that last, right? You can't do that maybe a year, a couple of years, but after a certain point, it'll just be hard to maintain. But to get to that point, you have to do that. I believe that.
Well, you have to remember, Coach Ron and Coach Jho have been together since the early 80s.
82.
So they've been like that since the early 80s.
Oh, okay. But not coaching on the same team, right?
No,
because Coach Jho was part of the youth team.
Okay.
when Coach Ron recruited him into the
prior
youth
to
team.
that, LaSalle. Yeah, prior to that.
And then LaSalle, right? They've been having that kind of conversation for a very long time. That's dedication.
I remember Coach Jho would have his list in games, so he'll have like his sub patterns, and I tried to do that with my team. I couldn't do it. I couldn't think ahead that fast. I would think ahead and like, okay, I'm going to go with these guys off the bench at this time or whatever, because you kind of have to. Of course, he adjusted during the game, but it was that meticulous, his planning, and Coach Ron. So I'm sure the other coaches like that. I just didn't see it as much, but with those two, I really saw how they.
And how affected were you when Coach Ron suffered a stroke in 01?
01. I think I had already retired. Are you sure it was 01?
Yeah, 01. But that's before the Asian Games, remember?
Right before the Asian Games. Maybe 2002, before the Asian Games.
Early 2000.
Yeah, I was shocked. So I think he got it when he was on the treadmill or something like that.
Yeah.
He was always be on the treadmill. Yeah, it was shocking. But by that time, he was with the national team, right? Practicing them. So we didn't see him as much anymore. I hardly ever saw him in practice. So when we heard about it, of course, everyone was down. And then, it was a bad situation. Yeah, but we were kind of far from it because we hardly saw them anymore. Yeah.
What's the next photo, Carla? Let's see. Here you are with your San Miguel boys. I don't know what the occasion was, but this was a boy bits without a shirt.
Boy bits showing off his navel.
Coach shot, and then was that only Padilla in the back? Yeah, Brady. Yeah, I wonder where this was.
Yeah. That's Padilla right at the back. Okay.
Yeah.
Only Padilla.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's only Padilla.
And you and Olsen sporting the cap backwards. Olsen, I don't know who copied who, man, but I don't know.
Mark and the funky ball.
I'm trying to read what's on the shirt.
I can't read it. This must have been out of town, probably after like a shoot around or something out of town. I would think. I'm not sure. But
it was 3 different colors, same shirt, 3 different colors.
Yeah, exactly, same design.
I met Boy Bits first at with Pop Cola.
Yeah, you did.
Yeah, so he was
you
there.
Guys are reunited there.
Yeah.
So Olsen became a coach. You're a coach. Assistant coach si Freddy Abuda ngayon.
Yeah. Boy Bits also went on to become a coach.
Become a coach. Si Boy Bits ba nag-coach na rin?
He also coached.
Did Danny ever coach?
Not yet. Yeah.
Danny doesn't coach, right? He hasn't coached.
No, I don't think
Danny Seagull? No, he was part of ALAB Pilipinas, San Miguel ALAB Pilipinas in the ABL.
He was assistant coach in LaSalle.
Okay.
Is Danny still here? Is Danny here?
Not here anymore. Was he here? Was he still here?
Okay, I saw him a couple of months ago in
I was with him when we were in the ABL when his team was in the ABL. We traveled together. Actually, Danny was
he's like you
on the plane.
He's like you. He's here. It's Andy who's back in the States.
Yeah, Andy.
And
Mark, if you guys know Mark.
Because his girlfriend lives here. I mean, his partner lives here, so they live.
Yeah.
So that's why Danny's still around.
Sama-sama sa tunay na barkadahan or SMB.
Okay, so that's the SMB tour. Yeah, those are sama-sama sa tunay na barkadahan. Okay, that's the SMB.
Tunay na mabuting barkadahan. Sorry.
Yeah, SMB.
Okay.
So that was a San Miguel program you guys had.
Amazing. Jay was able to read that.
Yeah, I had to zoom it.
Another story with Boy Bits is so we were teammates at Pop Cola and we were out of town, Baguio, playing a game or something. So we're roommates and every time we eat we'd be together. And so when we eat, I would just start eating and he would always pray before his meal. So I started praying before my meal every time. bless the food and everything. So ever since then, that's why I do that, because of boy bits.
Wow.
Okay, that's a story.
That's great.
Yeah.
That's great. Wow, Boy Beats, what a guy. I never thought Boy Beats would influence anyone in that way, but that's great, man. Boy Beats is a friend.
Out of all people, right?
I can rib him like that.
Do you remember the time, though, Dwight, when Boy Bits got sick? Did you ever hear about that?
When was this?
4 years ago. He had the Guillain-Barré syndrome.
Yes, I do remember.
Yeah, that was a struggle for him.
Yeah. It must have been in the in our chat group at the time.
Mm-hmm. But he's okay. I mean, seems to be fine now.
Yeah, I haven't seen him for a while. So he said he's coaching now, and he's good.
Yeah, he's coaching now, as far as I know.
Dwight, you played for several top point guards in your career. Who was your favorite point guard?
Yeah.
That's a good question.
Olsen, Johnny, Dindo. Yeah.
Boy Bits.
I probably have to say it's Dindo. Because Dindo can really set you up if he wants to, or he'll see an opening or something. Not that the other guys can't, but he'd be more vocal about it. Like with me, I remember we were playing in an alumni game, and he was on my team also. So he told me, "Hey, Dwight, come over here. I'm gonna back my guy down. You come around and take the 3-point shot." And so we did it. So little things like that. That definitely those other guys can do it. It's just that I guess Dindo's just more vocal, at least with me. Maybe because it's me that we're talking about. Like Olsen, he probably has his favorite shooter or something he can set up all the time if he wanted to. So, but they're all good in their own right? So
that would be Don Ontiveros, right?
Probably.
You reached London with San Miguel, so you got a lot of quality. That was the most successful part of your career. Obviously, was in San Miguel, 5 championships in 4 seasons. So you guys were winning often. I can picture you smiling on the court when a timeout is called, because you guys go on a 10-0 run and you're high-fiving each other, Nick Velasco and all these Dorian Peñas there. It's such a quality team. Why did you suddenly stop? What made you decide that I'm done?
So that last year that my contract was up, I think the year before they already put in they lowered the salary cap. So the budget for the whole, everyone's salary, the whole team went down. So when they offered me for the next year, I was hoping to get a raise maybe, or even just stay the same at the very least, and maybe get 2 years. They offered a 1 year at like half the salary or something. So I was already getting tired a little bit mentally of playing and stuff. So I said, never mind. I think this might be a good time to just retire. I didn't want to just play for that. I don't know if it was like a pity offer or something like that, or maybe like a veteran offer that, hey, that guy's been with us for a while, so let's just give him some kind of petty offer or whatever. So
how young were you?
I took it, but I was in a position that I can walk away at the time, so I did.
You're about 33. You're about 33 at the time,
34, right? I believe.
34.
Wow.
Yeah.
Wow.
So which is okay, because I actually started late. If I would have started earlier, it would have been better. But I transferred.
But physically, were you okay? I mean, you could have gone on for a couple more years. They paid you the right money.
I can. Of course, I can feel that I was a little bit slower, but for what they needed me to do, it was fine. Right. So yeah, I was fine physically. A little bit mentally out of it, because I was talking to Tonichi before when I was with Pepsi, right? He was one of the coaches. I asked him, towards the end of his career, how did he feel? And he goes, during the end of my career, it was more of a job. I wasn't really into the competitiveness anymore of the game. And then, so towards the end of my career, I was thinking, I can see where that comes from, because you kind of go through the motions. But since we are a good team, we always had the postseason to look forward to, the playoffs. So when we went to the playoffs, I would get interested again. Like I'd be, really into it again. Like, okay, we got to win. We're going to, practice harder, play harder, whatever, it's going to be a different situation. But the eliminations, it was just kind of like an auto cruise type thing, right? Because we had a good team, we had a good system. If we just run it properly, we're going to be able to, pull out enough wins to make it to the playoffs. So that was one of the things I kind of had to fight through while we were playing. Oh, there's our alumni team.
Yeah. Yes.
Yeah.
Eric Reyes convinced you to play here. With
Yeah, he
La
convinced me.
Salle.
Yeah, so
Who's the other
it's a very competitive league, right?
Not in our league because we were the 40 and over or something like that league.
Okay. That's Dindo. So you see, Dindo's your point guard right there.
Yeah, that's right. Dindo's there. Joey Santa Maria played with us. Ponce Costello, and then who else was there? The other players. There's this other player. He's not here, but I don't know if you guys know. I can't remember. Oh, Kirby Chua. Do you guys know Kirby Chua? No.
No.
Sounds familiar.
He's not
who's this guy behind Dindo to Dindo's left shoulder?
I was going to ask who the tall guy was.
That's Rene Nunez. I don't know if you guys know Rene.
Yeah. Okay.
Yeah. If you need your.
So you're playing in the dome. You're playing in the dome.
Yeah, we're playing in the dome.
So
we were three-peat champions in that league.
All right, awesome.
And Rafa's team.
So you never really leave basketball, right? Even if your career's over, you're very much involved in basketball. You play and you coach.
I played because Eric asked me to play. If he wouldn't have, I wouldn't have played.
Were you in shape at the time?
What's that?
Yeah.
Were you in shape?
How was your stamina?
When I play, I try to get in shape. So I was in shape enough, but not really that great.
You get to wear the number 32 finally, huh?
Yeah, I did. You noticed that, yeah? Because I think Joey.
Did you do a lot of point when Dindo sits down? Did you assume the point guard position?
No, they wouldn't let me play. I was shy to play point with them because they, since I was one of the taller guys, they need me inside. So I didn't want to force myself to play point. Anyways, that Kirby Chua, he played point. He was pretty good. And then we have like some fast guys. This number 3 right here, Ralph. He's pretty fast. So he would bring up the ball and we let them do their thing. But I would love to have played point. That would have.
What year was this? What year was this, Dwight?
This was before the pandemic. So
okay, not too
18.
long ago.
Yeah, not too long ago.
At what point in time in your career did you actually play point in the PBA?
I tried. Tim Cohn tried to use me as point for a little bit when I first got there, but I couldn't. I can handle the ball, but the problem is like the small guards could tip the ball away from me all the time, so that didn't work. I think.
And who was the peskiest? Dindo.
Dindo was. He was really good at timing that, so he was good at doing that. Any one of the smaller guards, if they want to, they could really pressure you a lot. So I didn't have good enough handles to keep it away from them. And then maybe I don't know. I couldn't keep the ball low enough or my body low enough because my back would always start hurting. So I
actually always thought you were perfect as a 2 because you especially when your outside shot was already dropping and everything. Then you had pretty good enough handles to help the point guard out if needed and all that. So
eventually I kind of fell into that role because when I first got into PBA, it was more of a 3. And then
because you're tall.
Yeah,
because that's how it is. That's how it is in the PBA or in the Philippines. If you're tall, they let you play up front. Remember, a lot of our guests were about 6'1", 6'2". They were asked to play center when they were young because
exactly right. Yeah, because they were the taller guys during the time, right?
So it's automatic.
Jaworski actually played center.
Yeah, Jaworski played center at one point in his career. That's why he's so good.
He always was a good ball handler.
Yeah, he was all around.
Oh yeah, always.
He was an outstanding player.
That's why he and Fernandez are cut above the rest because they could do everything.
Yeah.
My recollection of Dwight Lago's game though is you had a knack for giving really good screens at the right time. Is this like something innate in you, or is this something that you had to learn? Because when you give screens, pretty good screens, it's an art form.
Yeah, I kind of learned it, but then yes, you kind of see where it's coming from. But yeah, I think I learned that fundamentals pretty good. When I was young, I went to a basketball camp that my junior high coach told us to go to in the summertime. So we learned a lot of stuff there, a lot of fundamental things. It was a fundamentals camp. It wasn't a competition camp. So I learned a lot of stuff there. But yeah, it's also kind of part of in the offense. So if we know that we're going to be running, say, a back pick, a guy's going to do a back cut, then we set the pick. Yeah, so it's part fundamental and part you kind of read it, I guess.
Right. You also became pretty known as a two-way player. You started defending imports, actually. What was that like for you? since
It
your
was good,
offense
and
is
I'm glad you
really
mentioned
fine.
that because I thought I was a good defender at
No,
the
no,
time.
you're good. You're pretty. I remember you as a two-way player, really, but guarding
Because back
imports
in,
most
like,
of the time.
by the time I got to San Miguel, I wasn't really playing that much defense, and then they
Mhm.
thought my teammates thought I wasn't really a good defender or something like that. But yeah, when I first started, I did have to guard him because you're younger, you're not the star on the team, and if you're playing or you have you're showing you can move kind of well, they're going to put you on some of the tougher guys to guard. So so I remember the first year I remember guarding Sam Lim the first time. And, oh man,
Wow.
he got me good. I remember he was on the left wing. I was guarding him. He was bringing up the ball left wing. It wasn't a fast break either. It was just kind of he got past the ball left wing. So I was guarding him. He gives me a fake to the inside or something. I bite on the fake, kind of by the block. He was kind of almost by the block.
Mm-hmm.
I was above the block, kind of. So he got me there. And then the next thing I know, I turned around. He was on the other side doing a reverse layup.
And then the other side, Alan K. Dick was waiting for a pass.
Yeah, right. I did like guarding, and I told my son that I would guard imports before and things like that.
Mm-hmm.
It's
Who was the
a lot of
toughest
effort.
import?
Yeah, what's that?
Who was the toughest import that you had to go up against?
That's probably Tony Harris. I remember having
Wow. Okay. One of them.
he was tough.
Yep.
Yeah,
That's all you have to say. You don't even explain.
We all agree now. Yeah.
yeah, it's very physical. But I remember, you guys remember Derek Canada? He was our import.
Of course.
It was hard to guard because he can go into the inside, and he would start outside, and then he'd get in the middle and back you down. Very strong.
Yeah.
So
And then you had to guard power forwards also. Alvin, Noli, Nelson.
Yeah, sometimes not so much in the PBA, but yeah, I did. I would get switched on him or something. But what I just try to do when I guard a big guy like that, good post player, I try to guard him before they get the ball.
Okay,
Make it really hard for them to get the ball. So we're fronting, we're 3/4 fronting or something like that, just so that they have a harder time getting the ball. Because once you get the ball, it's really tough to stop them.
Yeah.
Like Alvin, oh my gosh, you're not going to stop Alvin in the post. Right?
He's just too good, right?
Yeah, just too good. He just has great footwork. For me, I thought he had one of the best footwork
Ever.
Yeah, even in the NBA, he has great footwork for.
I always say that. I say better post moves than Kevin McHale. I mean that that's how good he is.
Yeah, right. So he can go both ways. He can fade away, shoot. He can go under, and he can power it up. So he was tough to guard. So yeah, you have to guard those guys before they get the ball, and hopefully they don't get the ball. But when they do, ask for help.
Right. Denial is the best. The defense.
Yes,
right?
yeah. It is.
Don't let him get it.
Yeah.
So that was the time capsule.
Oh, sorry. Did you ever get Bobby Parks? Just one last question. You ever get Bobby Parks?
Guard Bobby Parks?
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, I did. I remember in a practice game, they came and played us when I was still at LaSalle. Mm-hmm. Yeah, he was he was really tough to guard too. Because I wasn't expecting. I wasn't playing against like any of that quality. That level of play. Since we had a game against a PBA team, so I had to guard him, and oh my goodness, that guy was. So I go, Bobby, slow down. He goes, no, the fans want to see me score.
Did he remember you? Did you remember the ticket?
I don't know if he remembered. Maybe he did. I'm not sure. I didn't ask him.
All right. Okay.
So but he goes, oh no, I'm just another fan. But he was it was just a matter of fact for him. It wasn't like anything emotional or personal. He was trying to be. He was just playing the game, and he would just do his thing. But yeah, it was fun. But the hardest guy I had to guard as a local, is Verhel Meneses.
Wow.
Tell anybody who asks me, it's Verhel, because Verhel could pass too.
Yes.
He could shoot.
Really great passer.
He can go around you with a fake, and then he can also back you down.
Mm-hmm.
So he can do everything, and then plus he jumps really high, so very very athletic.
Does that fall away? It's impossible to stop.
Yeah, right. And then if you go into him too, contest him too hard, he'll go right around you.
Mm-hmm.
Man, yeah, that guy was nice. He had a nice game. Well, we were also teammates too, so at Pop Cola, so I got to know him. But through the years, so I got to know all the guys.
That's what 10 years can do for you in the PBA.
Yeah, and then playing for all those teams. So yeah, man. So.
No, it's really crazy. I mean, overall, I think that's the end of the time capsule that was brought to us by Fitbit. So thank you for that. You played 482 games, my friend, in 10 seasons in the PBA for 6 franchises, averaging 6.9 points a game. 482. That's a lot because seasons are.
Is it really? I don't know the.
Yeah, that's what it says in the annual. So let's trust the annual. Sometimes the annual is not trustworthy, but
did we have more games back then? I know we were playing 3 conferences.
No,
you're in the playoffs a lot. You're in the playoffs.
Yeah, that's why you're in the playoffs a lot. That's why you got a lot of games.
You average around 60 games a season.
Wow.
Yeah. Well, especially towards the end, your last 4 seasons, you guys were going deep.
Yeah, that's what really. Yeah, we're playing all the time.
In 10 years, Dwight, not too many PBA players play 10 years. I mean, there's a number, the stars and all of that, but then the backups not so much. Maybe 5 years is probably the average.
Yeah, no, I'm very happy, very blessed to have that career I did. I was always, like I said, worried about injury and things like that. Although I was never the high flyer, I was not going to get injured like that. But you never know, right? You can land it on.
No, but you're the lateral guy. You can tear your ACL doing lateral stuff, right?
Yeah, exactly. So. But yeah, it was.
You kept your health. You're still okay until now. You got to play right before the pandemic, playing the alumni league. So that means you're fine. You're doing well here in the. You're coaching your son's team. So I guess all is well with you.
Yeah.
So we thank you for sharing your career journey with us here on AEOB. But we'll have to enter now what we call the Twilight Zone. It's it signals that we're about to end. But the Twilight Zone is our regular segments, and the first segment of the Twilight Zone is called X's or O's, Dwight. X's or O's brought to us by Hinalaban Farms. Check out hinalabanstore.com, Lazada, and Shopee for their products. Adlai and coffee, really good stuff, healthy, and the coffee's pretty good. Yeah, is that understatement?
Damn good.
Okay, damn good. Sorry. Okay, so I'm gonna give you some choices, Dwight. I'll just go through a list of choices. Just tell me what your choice is. You don't have to explain why. Just make a choice. Okay, unless you really can't make a choice, and then let's see what we can do. If we can call it a tie. Okay, let's start. Number 1. Teddy Monasterio or G. Abanilla?
Teddy.
Okay. Jason Webb or Tony Boy Espinosa?
Tony Boy.
Gabby Velasco or Derek Pumaren?
Derek.
Jerry Codinera or Alvin Patrimonio?
Alvin.
Olsen Racela or Frankie Lim?
Olsen.
Benny Cheng or Freddy Abuda?
Freddy.
That's nice.
Freddy.
Yeah.
Elmer Cabahug or Glenn Capascio?
That's a good one. Close. Elmer
Cabahug, okay.
Yeah.
Chot Reyes or Yeng Yao?
Yang.
Dindo Pumaren or Eugene Kilban?
Dindo.
Kevin Ramas or Guido Babilonia?
Oh, that's another good one. Wow, that's. I'd say Guido.
I'll just say Guido. Okay. He said Guido. At least he chose, right? Okay. Abi King or Yoyo Villamin?
Abe.
King. Larry Villanil or Cadel Mosqueda?
Cadel.
Okay. Dindo or Johnny?
I'll say Johnny now because I said Dindo earlier.
Okay. How about this? Guarding Kenneth Duremdes or guarding Vergel Meneses?
Vergel.
Guarding Vergel, okay. Peak or Peña? Ali or Dorian? Peak, okay.
Peak, yeah.
Coach Norman or Coach Tim?
Coach Tim.
Jong or Derek?
Ooh. I'll go with Jong here on this one.
Jong, okay. Michael Mustre or Romy Lopez?
Mike.
Yeah. Bolado or Balingit?
Oh. Probably Balingit.
Balingit. Danny I or Danny S?
That's a good one, Charlie.
I'll say both of them.
Okay, this one's both. Okay, this one.
That's impossible.
Okay, 1993 All-Filipino Championship or 2001 All-Filipino Championship?
Pure Fruit San Miguel.
Yeah, Coney Island.
2001. Yeah, 2001.
2001. Yeah, you mentioned that earlier. Lamont Struthers or Tony Harris?
Lamont.
Lamont. Stephen Howard or Art Long?
Steven.
Stephen Howard. Okay.
Ooh.
Bong Hawkins or Noli Locsin?
Noli.
Noli. Offense or defense?
Offense.
Offense. Jolas or Dondon Ontiveros?
Jolas.
Jolas. Okay.
Jolas
Old
for
school,
sure.
old school. And then the last photo, can we show it, please, Carla?
Ah!
Aiko, Carmina, or Rufa?
I'll go with Aiko.
Aiko.
Mm.
I met her
We have
years
an
ago. But I don't know.
We have an Aiko. We have an Aiko. Yeah, they're all still
Yeah, it's against
beautiful.
the
They're all still
grain.
beautiful now. I saw Carmina just recently. Still
Yeah.
gorgeous, and Aiko.
Yeah.
Yeah. Rufa.
Aiko's
Rufa's
nice.
been chosen the most, by the way. When we show this photo, Rufa's been
Yeah.
chosen the most. Eric
I also
Reyes,
met her for years, but
JV.
I think she's a fellow parent at the British school at BSM.
Oh, really? Okay. Okay.
Okay.
Okay.
That's X's or O's for episode 165. Next is the Seryosong Tanong. Yeah.
Yes, seryosong tanong, and I need my código for this, courtesy
Yeah,
of course that
you can
one
flash
that you
it,
sent
Carla.
it to me.
Yeah.
There.
It's there.
you
Yeah. So
go.
on your screens. Yeah.
Okay, there you go. Seryosong tanong is brought to us by Seryoso Chili Garlic, delicious, aromatic, and crispy garlic bits in pure coconut oil made with natural, locally sourced ingredients. No preservatives, no artificial flavors, and no salt. I actually use this a lot when I'm cooking. Ito ang chili garlic na seryosong maanghang at kaya kang paglaban di gaya ng ex mo. Okay. I actually phrased the question better when I accidentally put it here on the chat
Okay.
earlier. Okay. Your thoughts, Dwight, on not playing alongside your brother in the PBA? I mean, I'm sure this was like a goal for the two of you to actually play on the same team. You played on the same team in LaSalle, but you never even got to share the court together. You never got to share the court in the Philippines. Your thoughts on that? That's my seryosong tanong.
Oh, actually, I don't think. Well, for me, I didn't really find it that important to play with him in the PBA. I'd rather have him on another team because we kind of play the same position. So if we were on the same team, then one of us won't be able to play as much probably. I doubt we would have played together at the same time. So yeah, I never really wanted to play with him in the PBA.
That's interesting.
That's interesting. Isn't he more like a 2 though? You're more like a 3. He's more like a 2.
Yes. Yeah, it's true. But I didn't want. I don't know. I just thought it'd be better separate on a different team. Not that we would even play against each other, not like match up against each other. Just to have him have his own thing, his own, career and life with a different team, separate from what I'm doing.
Yeah, that's interesting.
Yeah.
Okay, but in LaSalle, you would have wanted to be on the court together at least a few times, right?
Yeah. Since we were on the same team,
Yeah.
it would have been.
Yeah.
Like when we were in Triple V, we were teammates, but he didn't get to play as much. He wasn't playing as much, so we didn't play together hardly ever. I don't think. Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, but
All right.
It's an interesting answer. I didn't expect that, but that was my seryosong tanong.
no, but so like here. Well, here in the PBA, all the games are here in Manila, so it doesn't really matter. I'll still see him. We're very close, so it's not like and we were living together at the time, so it's not like I would never see him. But like, say if we're like something like the NBA or NBA before,
NBA,
different cities, maybe that'd be maybe more. If we're in that situation, maybe I'd want him to be my teammate.
Correct. I get it.
Right. That's my seryosong tanong. Send it over now to Jay.
Yeah. This is for Sid, no? It's called ano nga ba tawag dito sa ano to? No title. Okay. All right. Walang title pala eh.
Yeah, it's just the question. Yeah.
Yeah.
Just the question.
This segment is brought to you by Barrio Fiesta. Kain na tayo dito sa Makati Avenue branch. Barrio Fiesta for your favorite crispy pata and kare-kare. Yeah.
That was really good.
All right. Here's the seryoso tanong. Here's a question now. Dwight, if you were to have dinner with somebody past or present, living or dead, who would that be?
A player.
Dwight? Yeah,
Player.
personality.
Player, coach.
Yeah. Past, present.
One player or coach?
Yeah.
One player.
Yeah.
Anywhere. NBA, PBA, anywhere you want.
Yeah, any player or coach. After
world,
present, living or dead.
Mm.
Who would it be and why?
If it wasn't a basketball player, I'd say Tiger Woods.
Okay.
That's a good
Yeah,
one.
but for a basketball player, I say Michael Jordan because I think he's still the GOAT, no matter what.
Okay.
So, I
But
mean,
why Tiger though? Why Tiger? That's interesting.
Same thing, being a GOAT in golf. Well, in my opinion, he's a GOAT. But so just to talk to somebody like that about how they got there, what they went through, and situation that he had to go through, and all that, all the negative stuff too. I just find it very interesting. I like it's somebody who's been at the top, kind of got knocked down from the top for a little bit, and then kind of went back again afterwards. That's a great story, I think, to hear, to have that person tell you about it. I don't know why it came to my mind. I don't know why his Tiger Woods came into my mind for that. Or whatever.
Boyet Francisco says hi.
Yeah, El Pistolero saying hi though.
Hey, Boyet.
And Michael Jordan, what would you ask him? Would you just talk basketball with Michael, or is there something non-basketball that you'd like
probably
to ask?
it'd probably be basketball. I don't know. If it was out of the sports realm, I'm sure I could think of somebody else, but since it would be sports, just him, I guess. I don't know, just to hear the stories, maybe, like what it's nice to hear some of the stories that these guys have, personal stories during the game or with teammates, whatever, whatever happened during their career. I think that's really interesting. I mean, we have our own stories here, of course, us guys in the PBA, and it's nice to talk about that amongst each other, or maybe share with fans sometimes, something through here. So I see the other side of the player,
Yeah. Well, thanks for sharing your stories with us.
Thank you.
Yeah, you shared just your stories with us, and then the rest of the guys watching. And I'm pretty sure this video will be passed around, and it's going to get a lot more views as the days come along. So thanks, Dwight. But before we end, we're going to enter our last part. It's called Hello, Porky. Hello, Porky is the greetings portion of our show. You can say hello, thank you, just shout out to anybody you want. Throughout your long basketball career, I'm sure there's a bunch of guys that you'd like to just name. So you can do that now, Dwight.
Okay, great. Well, first off, I just want to say thank you really to all the fans, because I was telling you before, Charlie, that I'm not really a very public person or like to be out there like that or something, but I still really appreciate all the fans through the years. I used to have a small fans club. I think there were 4 people. So I mean, like, people like that, they'll take their time out and watch you and greet you and say nice things about you. So it's really, really a blessing to have the fans out there. So if I can just read a few of these people's names here, there's who's here, like Walt Lazarte, Benedict Rubiano, who else here? Vince Dumayuga. There's some other people here. Robert Viola. Who else? Everyone else. James T. James is here too. Hey, James. So all these people that have been around for the years are, that at least would know who I am or know about our basketball history here. Thank you so much. Of course, thank you to you guys for having me on the show. It was really nice. I kind of was not looking forward to doing it, but I'm glad I did. I'm really happy that we were able to talk about some things, some of my past, my career, things that happened throughout my life. I mean, it is part of my life, and I really enjoyed it. I really feel blessed that I had this life, and I guess to talk about it now, it really bring back a lot of these memories, a lot of good times, great memories with a lot of friends I made over the years, people I met over the years. So thank you all for allowing me to come here, share my story, and then maybe next time I'll be out again.
Thanks so much, Dwight. Thank you so much. I mean, we really appreciate it.
Dwight, you're aware that we've exceeded the 2-hour mark already. So you've been talking for over 2 hours.
Yeah. So that's what we're talking about. You just don't notice it, but we're there already. So thanks so much. I mean, especially because I know you were reluctant. Yes, thanks so much. Of course, thanks to our friend JJ Onrubia for connecting
Yes,
with
thank you, JJ.
Attorney JJ Onrubia, and then so Dwight immediately said yes, and I appreciate that a lot, Dwight. Maybe
Thank you.
we'll see each other around. We have a small circle of friends. We were talking about it the other day.
Yes,
we have
yes,
so many
definitely.
common friends, so
All
maybe
right.
we'll see each other soon. So
Yeah, I look
that's
forward to seeing you guys
episode
in person.
Yeah. Very soon.
Thanks. It's episode 165. That's it. But before we go, we'd like to thank PBA Archives and PH Sports Bureau as usual. Maraming salamat for all the information and the photos that you give us. We are, of course, powered by San Miguel Corporation. Maraming salamat sa SMC in cooperation with Hinalaban Farm, Seryoso Chili Garlic, and Fitbit. Oh, sorry, and Barrio Fiesta as well. Hindi ko pa napapasok dyan. And then we are part of the Globally Ballin Network. Thank you so much to Carla and Aaron and the rest of Globally Ballin Network. Yeah.
Workshop.
And then we'll also say happy birthday to Rene Canet, Marte Saldana, and Mon Cruz. These are our celebrants from the AEOB family in the past week. And let's show that last slide, please, just for Mr. Zarate, please. Yeah, just a plug here.
Of course. Yeah, because we are Masterclass PH. We just finished, of course, together with Head Start Academy. We just finished our basic broadcasting workshop. But to follow that up, we have something called the Complete Sports Writing Workshop with our friend Sid Ventura at the helm. And you can see that's a loaded lineup right there. Sem Sarmenta, Carlo Pamintuan, myself, Jasmine Payo, Bigo is also going to be there, and Eros, and so much more. That's going to be happening. You can see the dates right there because I cannot. That's 18th and 19th of March. That's already in a few weeks from now. So if you want to know what it takes to be a sports writer in the Philippines, sports writer for many, many platforms, not just for newspapers, not just for online, but for many, many platforms, Sid Ventura is going to be able to steer you to that goal in the Complete Sports Writing Workshop, of course, on March 18th to 19th at the SGS Foundation Building in Araneta Avenue, Quezon City. Of course, brought to you by Masterclass PH and Head Start Academy. So the details are on the screens. Right there, you can just go to the Masterclass PH Facebook page if you're interested to register, and we will answer all your questions there in that page. So again, the Complete Sports Writing Workshop headed by Sid Ventura, happening on March 18th to 19th. Be there.
Okay, so yun, may plug yun. So if you want to write, that's the place to go. Before we say goodbye finally, we urge everyone, please, call to action. Send us some stars on Facebook, please, everybody. We need a few stars for our program. Kailangan natin yan. So if you're feeling like you're in a good, generous mood today, send us some stars. Thank you so much. Thank you so much to Dwight Lago. Dwight, maraming salamat. Sa ngalan ni Noel Zarate, Jay Mercado, ako po si Charlie Cuna. Tapos na ang episode 165. It's now in the books. We will announce our next guest or guests as soon as we can on our Facebook page. Please wait for that one. Follow us on our Facebook page if you want more updates on that. So that does it for us. Goodbye, everybody. God bless you all. We'll see you soon. Thanks, Carla. Thanks, Aaron. Thank you, Dwight. Mabuhay ka.
Bye. Bye, Dwight.
Thank you.
All right.
All right.
Thank you. All right,
Hey, guys.
bye.
Stay safe.